Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Van Andel Arena. I'm Bill Simonson with Tom Sullivan. We're just minutes away from kickoff. The world champion Grand Rapids Rampage taking on the Detroit Fury, and right now the celebrating is continuing during the pregame warm-ups. A special delayed kickoff, Tom, because they're going to raise the banner.
It's going to be an extraordinary night tonight, Bill. Full house, the banner's going up, Detroit's in town. The last chance really for fans to celebrate a world championship. They've come out in big numbers, better than 10,000 in here. It's going to be a fun evening.
All right, let's go to PA announcer Jay Allen and Blitz and the pregame introductions. All right, Tommy, right there, Blitz on the field. We're getting set. I just saw the Rampage in the tunnel. You can feel it. This is the largest crowd for a regular season game here at Van Andel since the very first game in Rampage football history.
It sure is, Bill. And, you know, coming off a sellout crowd at the Arena Bowl last summer, this crowd and this whole West Michigan has really gotten behind this team. The players are jacked up. It's a big rivalry with Detroit, a team last year that made the playoffs in their first season in the AFL. East versus West, Grand Rapids, Detroit. It's going to be a fun night.
This says something about the city of Grand Rapids. All right, PA announcer Jay Allen. Here comes your world champion, Grand Rapids Rampage.
And now, the starting lineup for your world champion Grand Rapids Rampage. Lineman out of Oklahoma, number 91, Corey Mayfield. A lineman out of Stephen F. Austin, number 55, Joe Wiley. Lineman from Southwest Louisiana, number 75, Lucas Yarnell. A fullbacker, linebacker from Clark, number 36, Chris Ryan. Offensive specialist from Missouri, number 1, Ricky Ross. Wide receiver linebacker from Youngstown State, number 4, Willis Marshall. Your kicker from Northwestern, number 11, Brian Goins. Wide receiver defensive back out of Southern Mississippi State, number 15, Terrell Shaw. Offensive specialist from West Virginia, number 6, Michael, the touchdown maker, Baker. And your quarterback from East Texas State, number 13, Clint Dorsell. Your head coach, director of football operations, Michael Trigg, assisted by Robert Smith, Marshall Foreman, and Sparky McEwen. The trainers, Steve Brattan and Wes Miller. The equipment manager, Marty Woods.
We'll be back with more on the Rampage offense and defense after this timeout on the X.
and signals the biggest sports celebration in the city's history.
Bill Simonson and Tom Sullivan back live inside sold-out Van Andel Arena. Rampage football on the X, and right now the presentation and the ceremony, they are raising the Arena Bowl World Championship banner, Tom.
A lot of goosebumps in here right now, Bill. 10,500 people. Everybody's excited. Big game tonight, too. Let's not forget about this. Central Division game. Both these teams in the playoffs last year. Going to be a lot of good action on the field tonight.
All right, let's go downstairs to Cassania Carter for tonight's national anthem.
Cassania Carter in our national anthem.
Well,
The colors presented this evening by the United States Army.
we'll have the starting lineups for the Rampage and the Fury after this timeout on the X. Tonight's broadcast of Grand Rapids Rampage Arena Football and WXSP is presented by the Duttler Automotive Group, Huntington Bank, and by Ford. I'm Bill Simonson with Tom Sullivan, who's been an arena football announcer for the last 4 years, former Eastern Michigan quarterback. Now we get down to business. I guess after raising the banner, Tom, Coach Trigg, the Rampage players, they want to put 2001 behind them and look ahead to 2002.
They sure do, but the main thing is they've got the key guys from that 2001 championship season back on their team. Clint Dalzell, the quarterback, has re-signed with this team for the next 3 seasons. He's back in the force, as is Terrell Shaw, his #1 receiver of last season. You know, Terrell signed a contract with the Kansas City Chiefs in the offseason, went to NFL Europe, was cut just recently, and said, hey, I want to get back to Grand Rapids. And so he's back with this team, has practiced for the last couple of weeks, and is ready to go.
This is the largest regular season crowd since the inaugural game in Rampage history, 10,542. Also, I'm here next week is close to a sellout, so get your Rampage tickets. We'll give you all that information later in the broadcast. Let's talk about new names that will be impact players this year, Tom, for the Rampage. A Terrell Shaw, somebody who can step up. I'm hearing the name Ricky Ross is due for a big-time season.
Ricky Ross was a guy that played with the Rampage 2 seasons ago and abruptly left the team, Bill. He just left and really didn't give much of an explanation. Came back, actually apologized to his teammates last year, had a great season, but this year, you're right, great shape. He's been one of the more explosive players in the preseason and in preseason camp. Look for #1. He should have a big year.
Coach Trigg feels his team is better than last year. Pro Football Weekly put the Rampage in as repeat world champions in 2002 and also made Clint Dalzell their MVP. So it's hard to believe that last year could be top, but a lot of people inside the Rampage, coaching offices and the front office, feel this year could even be better.
Well, he made a message early. Veterans, don't rest on your laurels. You got to be ready to play for the world champions, and you better believe that every team coming in here this year, Bill, is going to give Grand Rapids their best game.
We are getting set for the start of the 2002 Rampage football season inside Van Andel. J.R. Jenkins will kick it away, a deep kick that sails over the net. And we'll see the Rampage offense come out first and 10. Clint Dalzell is the MVP. He'll be the QB. Also, Terrell Shaw is back after being released by the World Football League in Berlin. He may be the best wide receiver in the AFL. Michael Baker, Willis Marshall, Harold Shaw, and up front, Corey Mayfield will be the eligible tight end, and also Joe Wiley and Big Rod Manuel.
Well, I tell you, one of the keys tonight, Bill, will be up front. Detroit possesses guys that can really get after the quarterback. As a matter of fact, they don't have a true offensive lineman out there. All these guys' keys are on defense.
First and 10 for Rampage. Dalzell under center from the 5. Man in motion right side. Pitch right side goes to the big rumbling fullback. That's going to be Chris Ryan, and a little trickery earlier from Coach Trigg.
Well, you don't see a whole lot of running in the Arena Football League, but Chris Ryan at 300 pounds has got good speed, and he looked a little bit like Jerome Bettis out there, didn't he, Bill? Turn the corner. Looked like he may have been very close to a first down on play number 1 for the Rampage.
Looks like a pickup of 8 on first down. They'll bring up a 2nd and 2, and something Coach Trigg loves. Now you got the Fury defense back on their heels.
You do, and that's one thing that the Rampage will have to mix in is the run. Again, Detroit's front 3 wants to rush the passer. If they've got to think about the run tonight, it'll slow them down.
13:53 and counting to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless between Detroit and Grand Rapids. 2nd and 2 for the Rampage. Man in motion near side. Dalzell, right side pass is incomplete. Well covered was Shaw. And also, we got some pushing and shoving in the backfield. Dalzell was hit late. And again, Coach Trigg was worried about Detroit trying to take cheap shots. And here comes the yellow hanky from the Zebras.
Well, that's exactly right, Bill. Number 13 is the key guy for the Rampage. That's Clint Dalzell. Everybody in this arena knows it, including all the guys wearing white jerseys out there. They'll take a shot at him anytime they can, and that time Torrin James rolled into Dalzell's ankle late. The referees caught it in our first penalty of the night.
I was talking with Sparky McHugh, the offensive coordinator for the Rampage, and the penalty will be marked off, and that will be a first down for the Rampage. He'll move it up close to the 23-yard line. He felt Kelvin Kinney and also Arkel Trillick on the front line were dirty players for the Fury, and they would try and take out Dalzell, realizing how much he means to the Rampage offense.
We're going to see a lot of pushing and shoving by those big guys tonight, making sure that they protect Clint.
After the unsportsmanlike penalty, it'll be 1st and 10 Rampage. Dalzell now will send a man in high motion to the near side. Ryan is alone back, long hard count. Dalzell, 5-step drop, looking over the middle, looking long, has a man open, count it, baby! That's a touchdown! Willis Marshall!
And right off the bat, Clint Dalzell hits his man Willis Marshall down the sideline. A great read by Clint. He looked to the middle, froze the defenders, and then hit Marshall in the front corner of the end zone for the first touchdown of the 2002 season.
What's amazing is that Shaw was wide open at the 5, and Marshall actually had double coverage, and Dalzell still hit him in stride. And now we'll get going. It's the best kicker in arena football to try the single PAT. The Rampage have struck first. A sold-out crowd here at Van Andel. Here's a snap. The ball is down. The kick is up, and it's gonna be good.
The kick is good.
7-0.
Grand Rapids.
Rampage 7. On top of Detroit. This
0.
is Rampage football on the X.
All right, fans, it's time to.
7-0 Rampage on top of Detroit. Dalzell to Marshall, the first strike in front of almost 11,000 here in Grand Rapids. Rampage football on the X. I'm Bill Simonson with Tom Sullivan. Goins set the kick, a deep kick that will sail into the net and be returned up the gut by the Fury. Big hole left side on the return. It is Chuck Levy
Levi.
NFL running back,
out
and
to
Levy
about the
rambles
21-yard
across
line.
to the 20, out to the 21-yard line, and a good return.
You know, the kickoffs in this game are very important, Bill. We'll see Goins tonight try to hit it off the framing of the nets. That's the key thing, and actually they'll work on that. He'll be at practice and try to hit the yellow framing, make the ball come off crazy that time, though off the net, and Levy able to return it.
Let's check the Fury offense. Ricky Foggy is the quarterback. He's a new addition, only with the team for about a month and a half. It'll be interesting to see how he picks up the run and shoot offense. 1st and 10, Fury in the white jerseys from their own 21, down 7-0, some movement. And everybody's scrambling up front. Corey Mayfield, I mean, he's just a monster in the middle. He wants to get after Foggy.
Well, I tell you, this is going to be a great battle to watch up front. Corey Mayfield, very aggressive up front. We've seen already some pushing and shoving by those guys on the Rampage possession. And don't forget now, unlike the traditional game outdoors, these guys play defense and they flip around and meet each other on offense. So they'll be rubbing up against each other all night long, getting real friendly in there, Bill.
Mayfield got a little excited, maybe all the fireworks, looking up at the World Championship banner, looking at his ring in the locker room. He's ready to go. 7-0 Rampage on top early on first quarter. 11:40 and counting to go. Fury with the 1st and 5 from the Rampage 24, and again some movement, and Foggy in there with the hard count. Let's check the Rampage defense. Joseph Todd, Verone McKinley, Willis Marshall, Michael Baker, the touchdown maker, and also just one of the great guys on the team, Harold Shaw, and up front the big boys, Corey Mayfield, Joe Wiley, and Rod Manuel.
On the defense.
Well, obvious that one of the strategies for Mouse Davis, the head coach of the Fury, is to get the Rampage to jump a little bit. You're right. You know, the excitement. There's a full house in here. Everybody's pumped up. Smart play calling by Davis to go on a hard count and get him to jump a little bit.
Corey Mayfield, you saw on our great coverage by our talented crew here on the X, just jawing with the entire offense. Again, they feel there are some cheap shots from the Fury. Last year they split. Matter of fact, the last team to beat the Rampage was Detroit. 1st and 10 from the Rampage 19. Foggy with a deep drop. He's flushed out of the pocket, throws, right side pass is caught inside the 10. Levy is rocked at the 7.
Well, right away we see Ricky Foggy and his ability to get outside the pocket. You know, Coach Trigg said they want to keep him in the pocket, be contained with their rush, but when he gets outside, he's dangerous, and we see right there he completes the pass.
Maybe the best defensive player, JoJo Polk, isn't playing tonight, and you're looking here at Foggy with great pressure, throws on the run, and Levy is an NFL caliber running back playing wide receiver in arena football. 1st and goal just inside the Rampage 6, man in motion left side. Foggy throws, pass is going to be caught and then dropped by Levy at the 3, and some pushing and shoving after the play.
And we see also on the play that Foggy gets knocked to the ground as he throws it by Chris Ryan. Really the key tonight for Grand Rapids on defense is to get to Ricky Foggy. You mentioned it, Bill. He's only been with the Fury for about a month. He runs the run and shoot offense, has never played in it before, and you see here he gets knocked down as he throws it behind Levy and incomplete.
Michael Baker got his hand on that ball. And one thing Coach Trigg told me in our production meeting, that they want to flush Foggy out of the pocket. On the run, he's not the same quarterback. Big play coming up here, 2nd and goal for the Fury. Foggy will be under center. They're trailing 7-0, under 10 minutes to go in the first. Foggy looking, scrambling, rolling, in trouble, throws, in the pass is going to be incomplete. Great coverage in the secondary by Joseph Todd of the Rampage.
Great coverage is right. Almost a sack up front, and that was all caused by the coverage in the secondary as they forced Foggy to go to number 2 and number 3 and finally throw it away. You look at it here.
Again, you see what Coach Trigg was talking about. Tom, flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run. He's not the same guy. Look at Todd. Hey, somebody take that blanket off that receiver.
And that's the guy they got to stop, Bill. That's Robert Gordon, Flash Gordon. He has had great success last year against the Rampage. Todd will be matched up with him most of the night.
Gordon with 42 touchdowns last year. 3rd and 5. A lot of noise at Van Andel for the Fury. Foggy in trouble again. Throws and the pass is caught. Touchdown. Wow, that was a broken play, and it comes up 6 to Levy. Oh, my.
Credit Levy, though. He went to the left and then fought his way back to the right, left his defender there, and Ricky Foggy took a hit and completed it. Good play by Foggy and Levy.
J.R. Jenkins will come in and try the single PAT and try and tie this thing up. 7-6 pending this extra point. 8:26 and counting to go in the opening quarter. Bill Simonson and Tom Sullivan inside Van Andel for the start of the 2002 Rampage football season. Miller will hold it. Here's a kick. It's up.
The extra
it's
point
good.
is good.
And we're tied. 8:10 to go in the first. Rampage 7, Fury 7. This is Rampage football on the X. Wow, guys. I'm just looking at this, Tom, and you're seeing what was a broken play. And Foggy just stuck with it. Levy was in the back of the end zone, and I thought he was just chucking it away to avoid the sack, but they come up and they tie the sack.
Well, I tell you, if Ricky Foggy can make plays like this all night, it'll be a long night for the Rampage. But really, Coach Trigg thinks that Foggy might be the weak link on this Fury team. As we mentioned, just signed a month ago. He's got to learn the run and shoot offense of Coach Miles Davis. He's 36 years old. Has had a long career in this Arena Football League, but he's a guy that if he gets outside can make a play, and he did there for the touchdown.
Coach Trigg just shaking his head. That pass was intended for Mike Fletcher, who tried to get a hand on it, and Levy caught it for a 6. Now Jenkins will kick it away. He's out of Marshall, a one-year veteran in the AFL. Also our officials tonight, Bill McCabe, Paul Freaking, Neil Bruner, Paul Engelbert, and Bud McCleskey. Deep to return is Willis Marshall, and it's a deep kick by Jenkins. Have a play off the net, rolls around, picked up by Marshall. Marshall up the middle, and a decent return out to the 4-yard line, where once again Clint Dolzell, the Rampage offense, will come out 1st and 10. First time they had the football, they went down and they stuck it in the end zone.
Well, I tell you, Clint, possessions in this game are so important. You've got to convert on your possessions. We've seen both teams on their first possession score. It almost turns into basketball a little bit, Bill, where you've got to score and match the other team. So Clint feels like the other team to beat the Rampage needs to score 70 points. Believe it or not, that's a lot of points.
One note in Van Andel tomorrow, don't forget Game 5 of the AHL playoffs. This is going to be a doozy. Chicago and the Griffs. Game 5 tomorrow. Make sure you get your tickets, Tom.
2 nights in a row. This place could be it's full tonight, going to be close to being full tomorrow night as well. 6 o'clock's that game, the Griffins and the Chicago Wolves.
Says a lot about Grand Rapids. I mean, we have Rampage Football World Championship banners for the first time, and also a Game 5 between, you talk about a Detroit-Grand Rapids rivalry, how about the Wolves and the Griffs?
Those guys have been going at it for years, it seems like, in the playoffs. And Griffins did a great job last night of coming back and tying that series up to put it to the deciding game tomorrow night.
7:39 to go in the opening corner. We are tied at 7. One note, don't forget my daily talk show on the ball, 1340 a.m. The Huge Show, Monday through Friday, 3 until 6 here in Grand Rapids on the ball, 1340 a.m. And also every Wednesday night, 6:05, Tom, Brett McKee, Coach Trigg, special Rampage players out at Sliders at Dome World. It's the Rampage Roundup. 1st and 10, Dolzell again under center. Receiver in motion near side. Short drop, quick throw. Pass is going to be caught by Shaw across the 10. And he's wrapped up and dropped at the 11.
Get used to seeing that a lot this year. Terrell Shaw and Clint Dalzell hooking up. The last time they played together was in the Arena Bowl championship game. And Shaw, all he did was catch 12 passes for 170 yards and 5 touchdowns last time.
Coach Trigg told me in our production meeting, there's no way you can cover this guy. If you come up on him, he'll run by you. If you give him a cushion, he'll get 10 on every reception. That was about 6 on that play, maybe 7. 2nd and a long 2. High motion to the right side. Quick screen pass to the right. Good shake and bake move, and that's going to be trouble for Steve Smith, who they want to work in to the offensive mix, and Smith is dropped for a big loss back at the 6.
Well, if Smith keeps running backwards, he may work himself out. He just lost the 6 yards that Terrell Shaw picked up. Steve Smith, a new guy for the Rampage. He's got sub 4.4 speed, but the thing in arena football is you got to get up the field. There's not enough room out here to go sideways. He lost 6 yards on that play.
It's early. We've seen the run on the first play by Coach Trigg. I call him Coach Tricky Trigg. That's what we call him. 3rd and 9. Dolzell now, man in straight motion, right side from his own end zone. Throws long. Has a man out there, and the pass is going to be incomplete, intended for Shaw, and he was covered well in the secondary by Chuck Winters, a former Wolverine down in Ann Arbor.
Well, that time Shaw tried to stutter step and go, and Winters did not bite on it. Good coverage by Chuck Winters.
We have a flag on the field. We'll wait for the officials' call right here.
5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow, that is a big penalty.
That was on Willie Latta playing, or I'm sorry, Mike Fletcher playing the weak linebacker there. And in arena football, only one linebacker can rush. The other one has to stay in that box area and mirror the quarterback. That time he snuck out. Fletcher did, snuck out of that box, and they caught him.
That was a huge play right here early on because that would have been a long field goal for Goins. Now it's 1st and 10. The preseason MVP of arena football, Dolezal under center. High motion now to the near side. Dolezal, quick drop. Quick pass over the middle. Shaw with the catch across the 20, and he fights for a first down up to the 21.
And you see the burst of speed that Shaw possesses. That was about a 5-yard pass, Bill. But what do they get? 12 out of it because Shaw explodes out of that catch, carries a man past the first down marker, and gets a first down for Grand Rapids.
Very defense is made up of Kevin Scott, Carl Greenwood, Chuck Winters, Torrin James, Mike Fletcher, Kelvin Kinney, Troy Sigowitz, and Arkel Trulick. And right there you see Shaw. The NFL said he didn't have a lot of power. I disagree. The guy's legit. He's awesome. He could have a 2,000-yard season. 1st and 10, Rampage on the move. From their own 22, Dolezal now quick throw in the flat to Ross. Ross with a hole inside Detroit territory for a pickup of almost 9 to the Fury 20.
Just a quick screen pass out here. 3 receivers blocking to the left side for Ricky Ross, the lineman getting downfield. And he can take any one of those throws, Bill. The distance, as you see here, look at his explosive speed. Easy throw for Clint, picks up 9 yards.
Ricky Ross in practice Wednesday and Shaw together. I've watched NFL practices. I've seen the big colleges, Oklahoma and Texas, and those two guys are as good as anybody in terms of running routes. 2nd and 2. Look for a big play here. High man in motion. Right side. Dolezal. Long hard count. Deep drop. Right side throw. Man is open. Is that a touchdown? No. Just short of the end zone. Wow. What a throw by Dolezal. I think Shaw on the reception.
That was Shaw going down to get it. And those two guys have only been working for about 2 weeks when Shaw returned to the club. And that's a tough throw and catch there. Clint needs to put that ball on a line and low, and he does it. Shaw goes and get it. Now you look at his. On time, that ball's on a line, not lofted to the corner, on a line. Terrell Shaw went down and got it. The Rampage are knocking on the door.
Dolezal has the accuracy unlike any other quarterback I've ever seen. Rampage and the Fury tied at 7. 3:43 to go in the opening quarter here on the X. Bill Simonson with Tom Sullivan inside, sold out Van Andel. Right side handoff goes to Ryan. And the big boy crosses the goal line. That's a touchdown, Grand Rapids.
Not too many people going to stop the bus right there. Chris Ryan at 300 pounds. Pretty much an automatic touchdown inside the 2-yard line. And Rampage now lead it by 6 points.
Chris Ryan at 6'2", 300. Excuse me, Fury defense. I have a date with the end zone. Goins, the right-footed kicker, is hometown Birmingham, Alabama. Hammer on the hold. The ball is down. The kick is up, and it's going to be good. 14-7, Rampage on top of the Fury. This is Rampage football on the X. 14-7, Rampage on top of the Fury. Big touchdown there from Chris Ryan, 6'2", 300 out of Clark, Atlanta. He's a guy that Coach Smith will get on, but Coach Smith told me if I motivate him, he comes up big, and that was a big run there. Goins now will kick it away for Grand Rapids. A booming kick into the net. Rolls around. That's a live ball in arena football in the end zone. And that will be a touchback. Wow, that was close to a big play for the special teams.
Bill, want to mention a special sponsorship this year from Huntington Banks. You know, after every Rampage touchdown, they donate $100 to the Michigan Special Olympics tonight. Already $200 in the bank. That's from Huntington Banks after every touchdown this season for the Rampage.
One thing, the corporate community and everybody, including the Rampage front office and all their marketing people, they've worked so well with bonding the Rampage. I think it's one of the reasons why this team is so successful and so loved. First and 10, the Fury with the football, trailing 14-7 from their own 5. Man in motion, right side Foggy. Right side throw, it's dropped. That was an easy ball for Willie Latta. He won't get a lot of catches like that.
Willie Latta just joined this team as well. He was with Buffalo last season, a very fast receiver. Again, not a lot of time to work with Ricky Foggy in this run-and-shoot offense. Should have had that one.
Robert Gordon is a guy they're going to take out of this Fury offense. He's a big play receiver, 1,630 yards last season and also 42 touchdowns, averaged over 116 a game. And again, they feel Ricky Foggy is a little foggy when it comes to his skills right now. Second and 10, Foggy under center, man in motion, again near side with a deep drop. He's looking long, throws, has a man open, it's going to be caught, and a good move, a big play. I just talked about him. He's Gordon. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Wow.
You set him up there, Bill. You talked about him, then he got it done, running the crossing route on man coverage with Joseph Todd. A tough assignment for Todd, and that's the go-to play right there. When they send Gordon into the middle of the field, Todd missed the tackle, and Gordon turned it into a touchdown.
That is the last time I ever talk about Robert Gordon. From now on, he'll be referred to as that guy on this broadcast.
Most of everybody else refers to him as Flash Gordon, Bill, and you see Flash right there. Take it down the sideline for the touchdown.
There in our Duttler replay. Jenkins will try the single PAT. Ball is up, and it's going to be no good. He shanked it. He missed it. 101 remaining here in the first quarter. We got an entertaining home opener. The largest regular season crowd since the inaugural game. Over 10,500 inside. And again, I think Bob Sack, the marketing people, the DP Fox, everybody, the job they've done. Believe it or not, this is my first Rampage football game, my first arena football game in person. And when you roll it back, the last 2 nights have been special here. A world championship, now the raising of the banner, a sellout crowd, and it looks like this thing is going to be a wild one.
Well, you know, the other thing is, Bill, next week is very close to being sold out as well. Only a couple of hundred tickets left for next week. And, you know, beyond the marketing of it, the fans of Grand Rapids, as we all know, support the local teams. And when you've got a championship team and a great entertainment package like this is, they show up for it.
I've been in a major league city in Chicago, and this is a major league operation when it comes to the Rampage and the Griffs. From the cheerleaders to Blitz to the music to JL and the PA announcer, unbelievable. Jenkins set to kick it away, a deep kick.
That ball's out of
He
here.
booms that into like row number 12, and again in arena football, you keep the ball. Hey, Red Wings fans, it's playoff time, and they better win in a hurry. Game 3 of the Wings first-round series with Vancouver is Sunday night at 10. Then the boys from Hockeytown are back on the X Tuesday for Game 4 at 10:30. The Canucks lead the series 2-0. It's Red Wings playoff action right here on WXSP, the station with game, and they better get some game going. Right now, they're down 0-2. Talking about the Wings, these guys are ahead by 1, 14-13. Dolzell now trips right side. Short drop, quick right side throw. It's batted around, almost intercepted. Dolzell pointing at the officiating crew saying, wait a minute, he's out of the box.
That's exactly right. That's what he wants on that play. Will not get the call. But Clint with a quick release throw there. It might be the last play of the quarter, Bill, as we get close to the end of the first quarter.
Second and 10 coming up for the Rampage on offense again. Dolzell, Shaw, Baker, Marshall. Also Harold Shaw, Corey Mayfield, Joe Wiley, and Rod Manuel up front. I'm going to send a man in motion to the right side. And that's it. Zeros on the scoreboard. First quarter is in the books. Here at Sold Out Van Andel. The Rampage leading the Fury 14-13. Second quarter action coming up here on the X.
No strikes, no balls. It's the West Michigan Whitecaps on the X.
He slides. He is safe. The Whitecaps win it.
Throwing strikes, hitting the holes, and clearing the fences. You'll see it all live on the X. Who's taking you out to the ball game? WXSP. Who? The X.
Welcome back to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Rampage football here in the X. Grand Rapids leading Detroit 14-13 in front of a sold-out house. Game number 1 of the 2002 Arena Football League season. Don't forget, they're at home next Saturday night against Indiana. Tickets are available as we speak. And also, after the game, if you're watching on the X right now, stop down to the Margarita Grill across from Van Andel for our post-game party. 2nd and 10 as we begin quarter number 2. Rampage with the football from the 5. Dozell, deep drop, long throw, has a man open. It's going to be caught by Marshall.
That's a touchdown.
And he scores.
They forgot to tap him. Willis Marshall went down on the ground, picked it up, took it in. Carl Greenwood forgot to put a hand on him. Willis Marshall scores another one for Grand Rapids.
Donating another $100.
Clint Dozell with his second touchdown pass of the night just hit Marshall in stride, and then Marshall had to stretch. And again, 2 names I heard Wednesday from Coach Trigg. Watch out for Willis Marshall and Ricky Ross. And watch this. He just lays out, and then all of a sudden, hey, excuse me, I'm Carl Greenwood. I forgot to touch him. That's a touchdown. Goins will try the single PAT. He splits the uprights and hits it. Wow. They look like they're better than last year. I can see why Pro Football Weekly picked them as repeat world champions. They now lead 21-13. And in our opener, Tom, you talked about this team, that they could be better than last season. They're showing everybody they are.
Well, the main thing tonight, Bill, is which team will get the most pressure on the other quarterback. Dalzell's yet to hit the ground tonight. If he sits in the pocket and can throw the ball down the field like that, it's going to be a long evening for Detroit. We may blow some bulbs out of this scoreboard.
Again, don't forget, at the Margarita Grill right across from Van Andel. If you're watching right now anywhere in West Michigan, come down, meet the players, meet Coach Trigg, all the coaches, win or lose after the game. But I got a gut feeling this is going to be a W, because you're looking at that man, Clint Dalzell, the greatest quarterback in the history of arena football.
Pretty big praise there, but you might be right. You know, he's the only guy that's thrown for over 80 touchdowns 3 times in the history of this arena football
Ryan
league.
Goins.
He's on pace. He's a Hall of Fame player in this league.
Tom, I've been known to exaggerate things every once in a while.
Is that right?
Goins will kick it away. 21-13 Rampage on top. 14:08 to go in the second quarter. A deep kick. Will be played off the net by Willie Lotta. Near side across the 5. Slips a tackle across the 10. And a good return out to the 16 for Detroit.
Well, you see the kick there by Goins. Did a good job. Hit the framework. He didn't get the crazy bounce that it normally does. Kind of died off that thing. But believe it or not, Goins will sit at practice and try to knock it off that framework. And that is a key play every game. It bounces crazy. You recover it. It's a turnover.
Pretty good feeling if you're Coach Trigg and also Coach McEwen. And by the way, lost in the mix sometimes is the job Sparky McEwen, the Creston High football coach and the offensive coordinator and the former quarterback at Ferris State, and the job he does in helping Coach Trigg design this nearly unstoppable offense. Foggy under center, 1st and 10 from his own 15. Levy in motion now, top side. Long, hard count.
Blown
Deep
coverage.
drop. He's throwing long. Levy's wide open. No one covered him when he went in motion. That's 6
Chuck Levy
for Detroit.
You could see that right at the start of the play. All 3 defensive backs were up in man coverage. They missed a bump there at the line of scrimmage and left Levy wide open for an easy touchdown toss from Foggy.
Levy out of Arizona, down in Tucson, former track guy, and has tasted life in the NFL with Arizona and the 49ers. And you see he went in motion topside, Tommy, and the next thing you know, no one's on him. Busted coverage.
Yeah, hard to see on that replay, but you see the result. Chuck Levy in the end zone for Detroit.
J.R. Jenkins will try the single PAT. He missed his last one. This one is also doinked off the net. We got a flag back at the 13.
Might have a roughing the kicker here. He may have to line this one up again. But that's 2 for Jenkins tonight. Missed.
Well, that was another doink.
You know, Coach Trigg mentioned, Jenkins was a big pickup for them last year. They started the season, Bill, last year 2-5 and did make a field goal in their first 7 games. They got Jenkins. He caught fire. They went 5-2 down the stretch. He's got a great leg,
but he's a little bit inconsistent
tonight.
by the kicking team. Therefore, there's no penalty, and the try is no good.
Your score, Grand Rapids 21.
So the doink
Detroit
stays. 12:50 to go in the first half. 21-19, Grand Rapids on top of Detroit. This is Rampage football on the 21-19, Grand Rapids on top of Detroit. 2 missed extra points by J.R. Jenkins, the key right now. He will kick it away. 12:50 to go here in the first half. Bill Simonson along with veteran Arena football announcer Tom Sullivan, the former Eastern Michigan quarterback. Deep kick by Jenkins that will bounce off the net, be taken near side, and that's going to be a Marshall return across the 5 out to the 8-yard line.
8-yard line, tackle made by number 13, Carl Green.
And the pushing and shoving continues. You know, our Cale Trulock for Detroit, probably the best rush guy in this league, Bill. You know, last year he was the AFL Rookie of the Year at 8.5 sacks. He's down there mixing it up with Corey Mayfield a little bit. Those guys are going to get to know each other very well tonight.
3 times on offense tonight for Grand Rapids. 3 touchdowns, 2 in the air from this guy, Clint Dalzell, and also 1 on the ground from Big Chris Ryan. I ain't lying, I'm scoring. 1st and 10, Dalzell under center. He'll work it from his own 8-yard line. Man in motion near side is Shaw. Shaw now will be covered, and now the pass will go in the flat across the 20. Michael Baker with the first down there, so he looked to Shaw. Shaw was covered, swung it out to Baker, and another Rampage first down.
You're exactly right. You can credit that reception to Terrell Shaw, who was on the short side of the field, but commanded 2 defensive players. Kevin Scott left the middle of the field, and that left Michael Baker open in the middle for a first down.
Some games in progress in Arena football. Dallas leading Carolina 29-22 in the first half, and Toronto over Tampa Bay 21-14. That game also in the first half. 1st and 10, Rampage from their own 22. Quick pitch, now right side for the Rampage.
Calvin Kenny.
On the carry for the Rampage will be Travis McDonald, and McDonald picks up about 1.
You know, Travis McDonald was picked up by the Rampage from Oklahoma in the dispersal draft. You know, the Arena Football League contracted this year by 4 teams. Bill, getting ready for next year's big season with NBC next season. 4 teams left this year. Travis McDonald on one of those teams, the Rampage, very happy to pick him up.
2nd and 8, high motion, left side is Shaw. Dalzell, deep drop, left side throw. Pass is going to be caught, and then a good move by Baker inside Fury territory as he's pushed out at the Detroit 22.
Baker, that's Baker's area there. In the 5 to 10, 15 yards down the field. Not going to run past you very often. Not going to catch a lot of long passes. He'll leave that to Willis Marshall and Terrell Shaw. But Michael Baker will work that middle of the field and catch most everything's thrown his way.
Clint Dalzell looking in midseason form here in game number 1. And there's Baker. I mean, when you talk about a guy on and off the field that does so much for West Michigan, he gets it done on defense. We saw a broken up pass earlier. And now on offense, 3rd and a long 3, and we're going to get a flag. Back in the secondary will be a delay of game from the officials.
Delay of game. Defense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
This copyrighted program is presented by the authority of the Grand Rapids Rampage and the Arena Football League and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, and or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Rampage and the AFL is prohibited. 5-yard penalty will back them up inside their own territory. Dalzell looks at a 3-man front for the Fury from his 23. Shaw in motion. Dalzell under pressure. Throws along to Shaw. He's open, and he can't get it. Wow. Good coverage in the secondary by Kevin Scott of the Fury.
Great coverage by Scott there. You know, Scott's a former Detroit Lion. You might remember him a few years ago playing for the Honolulu and Blue, and that time matched up very well with Terrell Shaw. Clint putting some air under it, letting Shaw run to it just out of his grasp in the end zone.
Looks like this will be a 44-yard field goal attempt. If I'm doing my math right, 42. Again, I'm getting used to the 50-yard field goal and the 8-yard end zones. Hamill on the hold. The kick is up, and it's going to be No good. It's going to be played off the post. Coming the other way is Chuck Winters, and Winters with a good return across the 10, and he's just rocked out of bounds by Goins at the 11.
I'll tell you what, Goins is a competitor, does not like to miss field goals and doesn't miss them very often. Just missed that one, went down, made the tackle on Chuck Winters.
You talked about arena football, Tom, and how every possession is so important. Now we're going to need the defense to get a stop here, but watch Goins come up. You talk about a tough kicker. He scored last year on a 2-point conversion on a miss, and watch Goins come up and say, I should have played linebacker at Northwestern.
He probably hit Winters a couple times back in college as well. Those guys, of course, Winters at Michigan and Goins at Northwestern.
Look at him looking up at the video screen going, I need that video. 1st and 10 after the miss on the field goal. Detroit with the football. Foggy, a high man in motion right side. Pump fake, in trouble, flushed out, looking, and just chucks it into the crowd.
Foggy's pass incomplete.
Good coverage that time and forcing Foggy to get off his initial read. You know, the key thing in the run and shoot offense, and that's what this offense is for Detroit is predicated on, is that initial read by the quarterback and the receiver. They've got to be on the same page at the initial snap of the football. If it's disrupted like it was that time, Foggy has to come off and throw it away. Good job by the secondary.
Foggy with some Big Ten experience, played collegiately at Minnesota, former Golden Gopher, now looking at 2nd and 10 with that arena football parked at his own 11. Right side throw, pass is caught. Good throw and catch for a pickup of 9 up to the 20.
And good coverage there. Jason Waters right on Robert Gordon. We saw at the snap a little bit of a fumbled snap. Interesting point here. The Fury have no linemen that are natural offensive linemen. All these guys are defensive guys that are forced to play offense, and that center exchange could be a problem as the night goes on.
Big play here. I said that the Rampage defense needed a stop. Todd McKinley, Marshall, Baker, Shaw, Mayfield, Wiley, and Manuel are going to have to get after it here on 3rd and 1 for the Fury from their own 20. Foggy, right side roll, looking to throw back the other way, throws long, has a man open, and the pass is incomplete, and great coverage in the secondary by Verone McKinley of the Rampage.
And again, good coverage, forced Foggy to pull it down. You see Mouse Davis across the way talking to Foggy saying, hey, you got to get rid of that ball quickly, but that coverage was tight. And that was a concern for Coach Trigg, was this secondary. Last week in Buffalo in a preseason game, they didn't play so well. Tonight, they look to be up to the challenge.
Mouse Davis is a head coach. You remember him as a Lions offensive coordinator. Last worked in the NFL with Jeff George and the Falcons. Foggy and Mouse Davis, they have conversed. They will go for it on 4th and 1. And now Foggy doesn't like what he sees, and he'll ask the officiating crew for a timeout.
First charge, timeout.
You know, Rampage fans, you can get all the information you need at RampageFootball.com, and one part of RampageFootball.com is the e-alert section. Sign up there at RampageFootball.com and receive emails directly from the Rampage. You tell them what you want, ticket information, special offers, player reports, press releases. You can get signed up and receive emails directly from the Rampage at RampageFootball.com at e-alert. Well, I tell you, 4th down in this building, Bill, gets awfully loud. Ricky Foggy needing to take a timeout here. Who can forget last August during the playoff run, the factor that this crowd was during those games, and they're back in midseason form tonight. You're going to see it very loud here on 4th down, 4th and 1 for Detroit.
There's a huge horny corner from my huge show. Loyal fans supporting the Rampage. Don't forget the huge show Monday through Friday, 3 until 6 on 1340 The Ball. That's Monday through Friday, 3 until 6. The huge show on The Ball in Grand Rapids. 4th and 1 for Detroit. They trail 21-19. Foggy back to throw. Looking, throwing, long. The pass is going to be incomplete. They turn it over on downs.
Huge stop for Grand Rapids. We've talked about possessions and how crucial they are. The Rampage miss a field goal on their last possession, but the defense gets it done and shuts down Detroit on 4th down. and Grand Rapids will take over in Detroit territory.
Joseph Todd has come up with 2 big plays with great coverage in the secondary for the Rampage, and now the KG veteran, if I can use every cliche possible in a football broadcast, breaks out of the huddle. Dalzell holding on to a 2-point lead, 6:06 and counting to go here in the first half. The Rampage leading the Fury 21-19, 1st and 10 after the turnover on downs from the Detroit 20. Quick pass, slant on the left side to Shaw, and Shaw's wrapped up and pushed out of bounds. Check that. Ricky Ross on the reception, and he's pushed out after a 9-yard gain.
And you see how strong Ross is there, carrying the Fury defenders down the field. And I tell you, he's an explosive guy. You talked about him a little bit. We've yet to see him off the net on a kickoff, but when Ricky Ross gets one off the net on a kickoff, we'll see really what he can do.
2nd and inches coming up for the Rampage. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. They lead it 21-19. Dalzell now will send the high man in motion, right side. Back to throw, short drop, quick throw. The pass is going to be caught by Steve Smith. Did it get in? No, he's knocked out of bounds inside the 5 at the Fury 2.
Is that guy a jitterbug or what? I mean to tell you, he made about 3 guys miss in about 4 yards there.
Coach Trigg on Wednesday again said, I got to figure out a way to get Steve Smith in the offense. I mean, I'm loaded right now.
Look
I
at
got
this guy.
Ross. I got everybody running left and right. I got Shaw. I mean, this Smith kid is special. Look at that.
This is exactly what Coach Trigg means when he says this team is better this year. Guys like Smith added to the roster. He's the fastest guy in the team, running under a 4.440, Bill.
Let's go downstairs and find out what the flag is. The officials are conversing right now. Let's get the call from the crew. Actually, now the officials are going back and forth to both sidelines, and I'm not sure if they're going to wave it off or what's going on. Margarita Grill after the game. If you're watching right now, live coverage here on the X, right across from Van Andel. You still can enjoy all the fun and the party and the great food at the Margarita Grill. You can meet all the players and everybody.
Also remember, tomorrow night, right here in this arena, Grand Rapids Griffins hockey against the Chicago Wolves, a deciding game, Game 5 in that series. Playoff hockey in Van Andel tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
And don't forget, also next Saturday night, how are the tickets looking for that, Tom?
Well, you better get them very quickly. Not a lot left. Close to a sellout. And, again, Grand Rapids, the folks, the fans here in Grand Rapids have responded. If you want tickets, you can call Tickets Plus 222-4000, but you better call them quickly. Not a lot left.
Hockey fans, Game 5 tomorrow night. The Griffs and the Wolves, AHL hockey action here at Van Andel. You can't beat a Game 5. That's it. That's the end of the series. Can they advance in the playoffs? They're going to want a full house tomorrow night. Griffs and the Wolves, Game 5, AHL hockey here at Van Andel.
Take a look at some stats here in the first quarter. And look at Clint Dalzell. 7 of 8 in that first quarter. 1 touchdown. He's thrown another touchdown since then. But off to a hot start. Shaw with 3 receptions. Smith with a couple of receptions. And Marshall, of course, the long one for the touchdown. Well, that's one of those unique rules in arena football. Very complicated, and there's one guy in this building probably that knows them better than everybody, and that's Coach Trigg. And he, right there was a challenge of the substitution rule. Not going to get into it, Bill. There's too many of these things, but you got to start the quarter to play, and apparently everything's cleared up now, and Clint's got him back in the huddle.
Mouse Davis is the guy that was behind the run and shoot. Remember those glory days in the National Football League. 1st and goal, Rampage from the Detroit 2. Smith in motion right side, little dump pass to Smith is caught for a touchdown, but hold everything. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage.
They're going to call an illegal defense. One of the defensive backs rushed the passer, and that's what left Smith wide open. Rampage will decline this, and the touchdown will count.
Dalzell trying to get everybody out of the huddle. He doesn't want a penalty. Yeah. Good call there, Tom. That's 4 years calling arena football on the radio and television. You see right here, Smith wide open.
Number 3 on the defense.
Mouse Davis trying to do
declined.
anything he can with or without the rule book to get after Dalzell.
Rampage convert. Remember, they started this possession on that 4th down stop. Clint Dalzell makes them pay. Now they can, this is a big extra point right here, Bill, because this will put them up 9 points, and that's better than 1 possession.
Goins out of Northwestern will kick it. Hamill, the backup QB, with the high snap. Got the ball down. Good job there by Todd Hamill, and the kick is good. 4:33 to go in the first half. Rampage 28, Detroit 19. This is Rampage football on the X. .433 to go in the first half here at Sold Out Van Andel, the largest regular season crowd since the inaugural game for the Rampage, and Blitz messing with the fans, hanging out, the crowd getting into it. Also, I got to tell everybody, Jay Allen, the PA announcer, great job of keeping the energy level up, and the people are getting a little tired out because they're scoring left and right. 28-19, the Rampage on top of the Fury. Goins is set to kick it off. Again, the Rampage, 11-3 last year, world champions. They raised a flag during an incredible pregame ceremony. Detroit, 7-7 last year. And it'll be a short kick by Goins that will be taken by Winners. Midfield to the 5 with the hole and a blocker to about the 8. And he's pushed backwards to about the 6.
And you talk about Iron Man football, that's a term used a lot in arena football. Ricky Ross on that tackle. He's caught passes tonight. And in this game, you better be ready to play on special teams and defense. That time, he made the tackle.
Rampage have scored on every possession outside of the near miss on the field goal by Goins. Tom, early on, what's your breakdown on how the Rampage look?
Well, they look very good. And as they did at the end of last season, offensively, they seem to be clicking on all cylinders. As you mentioned, the only miss there was the field goal by Goins. Other than that, they've been perfect on offense.
I think the defense has been awesome. Minus JoJo Polk, their best defender. 1st and 10, look like movement, no flag. Here comes a rush. Foggy in trouble, throws, had to rush it, and the pass is incomplete. And he's just driven to the turf after the throw.
Well, they're starting to get to Ricky Foggy. You know, a couple plays early on, they knocked Foggy down. They didn't get the sack. They knocked him down. That time they knocked him down again. That adds up. Let me tell you, as a quarterback, you get smashed in the mouth a few times. You start to get a little quick feet in that pocket.
Ricky Simpkins out of Syracuse, standing at 6'4", 300. I was talking with Brian Goins. He was taking a break during practice. We were watching the defense and the size of these lines, averaging near 300 pounds defensively and offensively for the Rampage. 2nd and 10 for Foggy. He looks at a 3-man front from the 8. Deep drop, under pressure, throws, and again, it's incomplete. But we have a flag back at the 18.
Well, they tried to run a pick route there. 2 guys crossed about 10 yards down the field. We'll see what the call is.
Tom, I think it's right. Look at that.
Yeah,
you are a guru up here in the booth.
I tell you what, man, I'm always looking for open receivers. You know, that's just a habit.
Number 35 on the offense. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Bill McKay, Paul Freaking. That is a great name for an announcer to work with. Neil Bruner, Paul Engelberts, and Bud McCluskey doing a good job tonight. Keeping this game under control. And arena football, they now call it real fun, real close, real football. And it is an unbelievable experience tonight here at Sold Out Van Andel. You better get your tickets for next week and the entire season because they like to make some noise. 3rd and 10 for Detroit. From the 8, Foggy, short drop, pump fake, looking, he's in trouble, he's sacked, is that a safety? No, they're gonna say he's down at the 1. And a flag down at the 23 of the Rampage.
They might have blown this play dead before the snap, but nobody heard it.
Prior to the snap, delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty.
Well, this play never should have even ran, but no one could hear the whistle. You see Foggy lets up. And
Harold Shaw makes flying and a rocket.
Makes him pay for it anyway, but that was all for naught as it was a delay of game penalty on Detroit. Mouse Davis doesn't like to see his quarterbacks get hit at all. complaining a little bit there to the officials.
3rd and 15 coming up for the Fury. Here in the furious wrath of the Rampage sold-out fans. Ricky Foggy having trouble hearing, talking to his line. 3rd and 15, and now he's got to burn a timeout. That's because of the noise.
That's exactly right.
Hey fans, join us again next Saturday for another WXSP Arena football broadcast when the Rampage hosts Indiana. Or you can come out to the van and be a part of the show as limited seats are still available. So get your tickets. Party, 1-888-595-4878. The Sprint PCS pregame street party at 6:30 out front. Also, we got the post-game party over at Margarita Grill. It is a party when you come watch a Rampage in downtown Grand Rapids. Who said Grand Rapids is boring anymore?
You seem to kind of liven it up yourself here, Bill. You like your return to Grand Rapids
I
from the
am
big
loving
city?
it, man. Doing the huge show Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 on the ball, 13:40 a.m. You know what? I think DP Fox, the Griffs, the Rampage, this building. You talk about the street parties and Margarita Grill and all your advertisers. We're showing the world what you did last August, that we are a world-class city. 3rd and 15. That's like around the world in arena football for Foggy. From his own 4, high man in motion left side. A lot of noise. Foggy in trouble. Long throw. It's going to be intercepted. The other way. Coming with the pick is Joseph inside the 15 to the Fury 11.
You knew that sooner or later Foggy was going to throw one where he shouldn't, and Joseph Todd was there to pick it and bring it back. And Grand Rapids can really jump on top of Detroit now with a score on the big interception by Joseph Todd.
I got so excited, it's Joseph Todd. I couldn't even finish his last name. I was hyperventilating.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you're not getting mouth-to-mouth from me up here. If you pass out, you're done, pal.
I was going to try to say Joseph Todd, and you had to hand me the brown paper bag.
Well, look at this.
Look at Foggy. The pressure has been unbelievable by the front 3. It also helped from Sipkins, and you have to give Mayfield and Wiley and Manuel some credit. 1st and 10. Rampage after the interception from the 11. Dozell, quick throw to Ross. Ross with a good move, and he'll fight his way for a yard to the 10. So we look to the clock right now, 1:17 and counting to go in the first half, and the Rampage leading the Fury 28-19.
Well, this is a key possession, as we said, for Grand Rapids. They could score here, a touchdown, go up 2 possessions. The end of the half is crucial in this game, and we're going to get a whistle right here for the 1-minute timing rules in arena football. We'll let the referee explain that.
1-minute timing rules are now in effect. Detroit has 1 timeout left. Grand Rapids has 3 timeouts left.
The key thing in the last minute of the half, Bill, is that the clock will stop like the traditional game. You go out of bounds, the clock will stop. Incomplete pass, the clock will stop. Other than that, during these games, the clock is always rolling.
Halftime show coming up. We'll hear from Jason Terzis. 2nd and 9 for the Rampage. Dozell, pump fake. Has a man wide open. Should be 6. It is. Count it, baby. Touchdown. Willis Marshall for the Rampage.
And a great pump fake by Clint Dalzell froze the defender, Carl Greenwood, and that allowed Marshall to run right past them. Perfect throw in the corner, and the Rampage now are up 2 possessions.
Will you score me 3, Marshall? Wow. Boy, Dozell is just a machine. And again, the line giving him time to throw. You see Mayfield and Wiley and Manuel, the pump fake. Greenwood bid on it. He's burnt, and Marshall's in the end zone. Hamill on the hold. High snap again. Goins with the PAT. He's money, and it's good. 56 seconds to go in the first half. Grand Rapids exploding for 35 first half points, now building a 16-point lead, which is big in arena football.
It's huge, and don't think that Grand Rapids may get the ball back here. 56 seconds in arena football is a long time. They could stop them, and Grand Rapids get it back and put another one on before this half ends.
It looks like they're playing the World Championship game all over again.
Well, you know, Clint Dalzell has said last year at this time he wasn't sure about this team. He thought they needed to gel. This year, he thinks they are, as you said, picking up right where the world champions left off, and they're sure playing like it in the first half.
I saw it in their walk. It's not cocky or egos. It's a swagger of confidence. When you have that World Championship ring that you're wearing, Tom, it says something. Even though you don't have it on because I stole it during that last touchdown. I put some butter on your finger, and I stole it.
Well, you're right. These guys are very proud to have those rings, and it is a confidence, not an arrogance, but a confidence that every time you come into this building, you better play your best ball game.
Goins will kick it from his own goal line and a deep kick. Left side off the net. Winters loses it. Then it's picked up by Gordon, and Gordon can fly across the 15 close to the 16 with 51 ticks left on the clock.
You saw right there what can happen in arena football. Winters misplayed it, but Gordon was there to back him up. And that ball, in the course of a game, 2-3 times is going to come off crazy like that and be up for grabs.
Big series here. If they can get a stop, the momentum going into the locker room from the crowd and the team would be unbelievable. There's blitz. That's how I used to look when I worked out and I went to the beach in Grand Haven. Big muscles. 1st and 10, Foggy under center. From his own 16, man in motion, left side is Gordon. He's looking for him, looking, throws, and it's going to be a short pass that is caught by Levy. Big yardage inside Rampage territory as he's rattled off the boards at the 13 of GR.
And you see why Levy was a second-round draft pick out of college, out of Arizona with the Arizona Cardinals. Runs through the tackle of Verone McKinley for big yards. That should have been a short reception and a tackle, but Levy runs right through that tackle and picks up big yards. Look at Baker hustle behind the play.
Good job by Willis Marshall again to save a touchdown. He has 3 offensively, and he's come up with 3 plays defensively. Make it a 6-pack for Willie. 1st and 10, Fury. From the 14, there's a fumble. Ball's loose. Who got it? The Rampage. Do they have it? Yes, they do.
Michael Baker digging it out of there. We said that there may be an exchange problem again. No linemen for Detroit are natural offensive linemen. That means nobody's ever played center before. They're learning that position, and they mess up the key play in football, the center exchange. Michael Baker goes down there and gets it, and 2 straight possessions, the Rampage come up with a turnover.
Baker does everything.
He does. Literally.
He sold 10 boxes of popcorn during the last series.
He sold some tickets. You know, he's an employee of the Rampage in the offseason, doing community work and selling some tickets, so he does do everything.
That's a Rage Dance team. I'm not allowed to comment on them. 1st and 10 after the fumble recovery. Dalzell pump fake in trouble, throws and just chucks it away, feeling the pressure at his feet.
Smart play there by Clint. Again, 35 seconds left in this half. Plenty of time to score on this 50-yard field. At minimum, they'll get a field goal opportunity from Brian Goins on this possession.
Touchdown would be huge here. I mean, this is something you think about. I don't want to say you can put a team away, but if you're up 42-19 going to the locker room in arena football, it's tough to come back from a 23-point deficit. Crazier things have happened. 2nd and 10 from their own 15. Dalzell now with a deep drop. Long throw, left side, has a man open, and it's almost intercepted. Wow, underthrown, intended for Willis Marshall at the 5.
Well, that time they fooled Clint a little bit. The underneath coverage sat down on the under route, and Scott came over from his safety position. Clint thought he had an easy throw there, but Scott showed up and really should have intercepted this ball. Look at that, 2 hands on it. Rampage are fortunate on that one.
Kevin Scott, the former Lion, should have had the pick. But the Rampage will get a couple of chances here. 3rd and 10 coming up. 29 seconds to go in the first half. They're leading Detroit 35-19 here on the X from Van Andel. Sold out joint. 3rd and 10. High man in motion. Near side is Shaw. Dalzell with a deep drop. Pump fake. Short pass is going to be caught by Baker for about a 5-yard gain. And I think Coach Trigg was playing for a field goal here.
Yeah, no reason to get a turnover here. That's what he wants to stay away from, is a turnover. Want at least a shot at a field goal, and certainly Goins can nail it from here. Probably would have wanted Baker to stay in bounds there too and run the clock, then call a timeout, but it's stopped now with 23
They're going
seconds.
for it.
They're going to go for it.
Wow.
You know who that is? That's Dalzell, overruling Trigg. Dalzell wants to go for it, and they'll do it.
Single coverage, top side and near side. Dalzell now will send it man in motion. Deep drop,
There's Shaw.
feeling the pressure, long throw. Shaw's open! Count it, baby! That's a touchdown! Rampage!
And right there is why Michael Trigg was the coach of the year last year. He listens to his quarterback, Clint Dalzell. He says, Coach, we want to go for it. He goes for it. What's it end up with? A touchdown to Shaw.
Going single PAT coming up could make it a 42-point first half for the defending world champions. And look at Dalzell off the back foot. And there's Shaw in his world-class speed, just burning Scott. Tommy, I'm digging this game.
You going to make it through the second half? You're
I don't
fired
know.
Up here, big man.
Hamill on the hold. He is a backup to Dalzell. Goins, a righty, splits the uprights, and it's good. Man, 18 seconds to go in the first half. 42-19 over Detroit. Well, you're almost speechless. What do you say? They're almost perfect.
They almost are. They really are. They've only missed on one possession, and that was a near miss on the field goal. That's what happens. You get 42 in the first half. Clint said it. What did he say? You have to score 70 to beat us? Well, he's probably right. Rampage on pace for 84 tonight, Bill. You know, Rampage fans, young fans, Blitz Kids, the new club for the Rampage, want to let you guys know that you can sign up at RampageFootball.com for the Blitz Kids membership. What you get for $15 is 2 tickets to an upcoming game, a Blitz Kids t-shirt, a Blitz bobblehead, an autographed 8x10 photo of your favorite Rampage player, free entry into the Rhino Room, which is held before each game at Van Andel Arena. You get a membership card. Just go to RampageFootball.com, click on Blitz Kids, and sign up for the Rampage Kids Club.
Goins set to kick it off. A big 18 seconds for Ricky Foggy, the Detroit quarterback, and Mouse Davis, the head coach for the Fury. This is a must-score situation. Field goal, anything to stay in this ball game. Grand Rapids just a machine, and now Goins just looking at the officials. He looks up at me and he says, Bill, would you shut up so I can kick it? Deep kick by Goins. Played off the net by Levy, rolling around at the 1. He picks it up on the run, and he's rocked at the 10.
Well, we're going to keep a close eye now on Ricky Foggy in this offense for Detroit. We thought he may be the guy that could be the key for the Rampage making a play. You know, last year's quarterback for Detroit, Scott Semptenfelder, was a different type of quarterback, a guy that would stay in the pocket and fire it in there. Coach Trigg liked him. A little surprised that Mouse Davis made the move with Ricky Foggy in the offseason.
Big key at halftime for Coach Trigg and Coach McEwen and Coach Smith and Coach Foreman. Don't let these guys get lackadaisical. First and 10, Foggy working from his own 10. Deep drop, throws right, crossing pattern is incomplete. Try to get it out to Gordon at the 15. 12 seconds remaining in the first half.
You know, when people talk about quarterbacks, they always talk about arm strength and how hard he can throw it. Well, it starts with the feet. And Ricky Foggy's feet are in no way ready to throw the football. He's so nervous back there in the pocket that his feet are not in good position. That's causing him to miss on his passes.
And Rampage defensive coordinator Marshall Foreman, who played at Arkansas, he smells it. He sees it, and he's going after him. Foggy looking at a 2nd and 10 from his own 10. 12 seconds to go in the half. They're down big. Foggy, right side throw is incomplete, but flags all over the place. Officials will stop it, and we'll find out what the foul is. Maybe a delay of game. Go downstairs.
Prior to the snap, illegal snap on the snapper, the center for the offensive team. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Remains 2nd down. Please reset the clock to 12 seconds. 12 seconds, please.
What happened there is the center probably moved the ball a little bit before he actually snapped it. And we've talked about Foggy being a little bit rattled in that pocket. Now you got the center a little bit nervous there with Corey Mayfield breathing on him. And he moved the ball a little early and caused the penalty.
I'm getting emotional. The huge horny corner is just rocking this place. I'm going to cry. I got a tear rolling down my cheek. 12 seconds to go in the first half. Foggy looking at 2nd and 15 from the 5 with a deep drop. Long throw, left side. Gordon's out there. It's going to be incomplete. Great coverage by Joseph Todd in the end zone.
Well, Coach Trigg challenged Joseph Todd this week. Joseph Todd's a great talent, a guy that joined the team mid-season last year and was one of the best defenders into the Arena Bowl season. Need him to step up this year with the absence of JoJo Polk and Raphael Ball. And he's been man-to-man with Robert Gordon tonight. We haven't seen Robert Gordon do anything. I think he's caught one pass tonight, mainly because Todd's been draped all over him.
He's a defensive specialist out of Mississippi Valley State. That school's cranked out a few good football players.
They had a decent receiver a few years ago, didn't they?
Pretty good guy by the name of Rice.
This is Rice?
3rd
Yeah.
and 15. 6 seconds to go in the half. Foggy with the snap from his own end zone. Long throw, middle of the field. Good coverage, and it's going to be knocked down by Marshall. No time left on the clock, and what a half for the defending world champions of arena football. What can you say, Tom, about this half?
Just a great offense and defensive half for the Rampage. Nearly perfect offensively. They score 6 touchdowns. They miss on 1 extra point. They may get to 100 before it's over, Bill.
I think Coach Trigg will have to keep this team focused. They're leading 42-19. The halftime report is coming up here from Van Andel. This is Rampage Football on the X. Bill Simonson and Tom Sullivan here at halftime, 42-19. Grand Rapids on top of Detroit. Game number 1 of the 2002 Arena football season, and perfection is the key word when you talk about the Rampage in the first half, Tom.
Well, they've played near perfect football on both sides of the ball. Defensively, have come up with some stops. The secondary is playing great, led by Joseph Todd. Offensively, Bill, Clint Dalzell is rolling like it's mid-season. He's hit Terrell Shaw. He's hit Willis Marshall. Chris Ryan on the ground. 42 points in the first half. You can tell this is the Arena Bowl champions playing tonight.
How about 100? Would that be a statement to send to the rest of arena football and also to the home fans here? A sold-out house, biggest sold-out house since the inaugural game years ago here in Grand Rapids, and they're sitting on 42. Missed a field goal, and I mean, this team, and you look at Clint Dalzell here, they could score 100 tonight.
They might, and there's an easy throw right there. Dalzell hit Smith for the touchdown. A good read. He's been on it all night tonight. We've seen Smith. He's a new guy for the Rampage who can make guys miss in the open field. That time he took it an easy toss for the touchdown from Dalzell.
Marshall with 3 touchdowns. Shaw in the action. Steve Smith in the action. The defense coming up with coverage in the secondary. A perfect first half so far, but we still have half number 2 coming up. 42-19. The Rampage on top of the Fury. More from our halftime show after this timeout on the X.
Yo, hockey fans, we're burning it up with the Red Hot Red Wings blazing on the X. See Detroit's fiery stars melting the ice all season long on the Station with Game, WXSP. Check it out. All the hard-hitting, side-blistering, backhand, slapshot scoring, Motor City madness. Action so intense it'll burn your face off. Red Wing hockey scorching on the X. The Station with Game. The X. P.TV from the X, about the X. X Sports. WXSP Sports, events and times, automatic weekly emails. X Shows. What's on the Friday night movie, and better yet, never miss your favorite shows again. Get X Mail. X Weather. Live radar. Your school closed? Should you dig out your shorts or your driveway? X Chat Zone. Shouting aloud. X Forum. What you thinking? You gotta hit it to get it. It's all there. The X on the web.
All you've been accumulating over the years could vanish if you're not smart. If you don't know that 1 in 20 gamblers has a problem. If you don't recognize that you may be one of them. You're never too old to be a compulsive gambler. Let us help you before you're left with nothing.
That really was a lot of fun, wasn't it? The Rampage giving us all a summer to remember by winning the Arena Bowl championship on national television. The post-game fireworks. The hoisting of the trophy. Fans celebrating outside the Van Andel. A few days later, the parade downtown. And the rally that followed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are number one.
What a thrilling ride.
We can honestly say that we are number one and be able to actually mean it, because you see it all the time, but that's just a great feeling.
And now the journey begins again.
Hey, like Clint said, I only got one thing to say, repeat.
The Rampage may have won the Arena Bowl championship, but what they didn't win was respect. Playing in the league's smallest market and coming off a 6-9 season the year before, Grand Rapids pretty much came out of nowhere to win the title last year. But that didn't sit too well with traditional AFL powers.
There are some of the guys in other teams in other cities are dissing us. They're saying things about, we don't deserve to have the cup, or it was a fluke.
It actually adds into our fuel as coaches to just throw on the fire as that continues to exist and give them something to play for a little bit harder, because we all want some type of respect from your peer group, and at times we get it, but for the most part people just want to seem to chip away at the Rampage, and I think that weighs into our favor. It gives us something to focus on and maybe eliminate the complacency that may set in.
Last season the team's motto was no excuses, and it worked. But because of their lack of respect, this year's theme also seems to fit perfectly. It's a clear message to everyone else in the league. Come and take it.
That's us. Sure, the T-shirt, come and take it. They have to. And we expect that, and I think that's going to enhance our level of play, because it's going to enhance everybody else's when they come in to play us. They're going to want to come and try to take it from us, and that's what we want. It's our title until the end of this year, and hopefully it's going to be ours again.
It's not as if one of the guys just thought it up. The statement does have a historical meaning. During the offseason, several of the players and coaches were at the National Coaches Convention down in San Antonio. So, of course, no trip to San Antonio is complete without stopping by the Alamo.
Went by the Alamo to see a little history, and there it was, on a flag, come and take it. They had a cannon there on a flag, and we were like all together at one time saying, wow, that is something right there. That's a great statement. So why don't we put that on the back of our T-shirts and say, hey, we got the Foster Cup, come and take it.
It's not an in-your-face, braggadocious situation. It was a couple of cannons were taken from the Mexican Army. The Mexican Army wasn't happy about it. They asked for that to be returned peacefully, and the people in Goliad sent up a flag as their message, which was come and take it. The application to the Rampage is that we don't feel like that there was a lot of respect given to our journey last year, that our 14 wins were kind of thrown to the side as a fluke. And a lot of people are already talking about other teams winning the championship this year. Our mentality is we're not going to just turn it back over and give it to anybody. They're going to have to come and take it and earn it. And we want to defend our fort at the Van Andel and make sure that when people come in here that they don't leave with it.
They want respect. They want to win the division. They want repeat as champions, because winning last time was just too much fun.
The championship in Grand Rapids has been great. It's like an NFL town. They love our football here, and hopefully they'll come out and support us. I know the first two games are supposedly sold out, and I think season tickets are doing great this year. And I think it's just everything's been booming since the championship.
It's been a blast, man. Anytime you're so quote unquote called the best, the best team out there, number one, that means a lot. We're very prideful about that. So we're going to walk in and week out, come and take it, and we're going to mean it.
With this Rampage halftime report, I'm Jason Terzis. More from the Van Andel coming up straight ahead on the X.
42-19, the Rampage on top of the Fury. I'm Bill Simonson with Tom Sullivan. We're at halftime, and Coach Trigg has to be thinking about a team record in terms of points scored. They scored 80 last June versus Indiana, and they're on their way, leading by 23, which in arena football is a lot considering how quick teams score. Coming up here in a moment, we'll hear from my partner Tom Sullivan with Coach Trigg and how you keep this team focused here in the second half. That is going to be the key. Also, hockey fans, make sure you get your tickets for Game 5 tomorrow night here at Van Andel. The Griffins and the Chicago Wolves, AHL, the equalizer, the 5th game of a 5-game series. Get your tickets tomorrow night, which is Sunday. Grand Rapids Griffins, Chicago Wolves here at Van Andel. And again, Game 5, elimination games are great in any sport. Also, speaking of hockey, don't forget Game 4 of the Wings coming up here on the X. Right now, looking at some of the highlights in the first half, you see Clint Dalzell here, the preseason MVP. And he pump fakes. There's Marshall, 3rd touchdown catch of the first half. And what's happening is Detroit's going after Shaw, and you have Marshall and also Steve Smith, the offensive specialist who has stepped into the picture by scoring a touchdown. And again, Marshall right now has that look. Oh, I'm going to score 4. That's my number. I'm going to score 4. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, I'll get 4 touchdowns. Yeah, that's my number. We'll get that. Let's go downstairs to Tom Sullivan, who's standing by with Rampage head coach Michael Trigg.
We're here with Coach Trigg at halftime. And, Coach, one of your objectives tonight was to get after Ricky Foggy, rattle him. Have you done that?
Well, I think we've done a good job of at least disrupting their offense. I'm happy with our secondary, buzzing their receivers a little bit, making them go to their second throw. And Foggy's a good athlete. We may not sack him, but we're doing some good things to stop their completions.
Up 23 points at half, Coach. What's the focus in the second half?
Orlando came in here in 1999. We put 42 points on. It's the most we've ever done, so I think we just duplicated that. Right now we try to score 84 and send them home hurting.
Thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
You're watching Rampage Football on the X. We'll be back after this.
Signals the biggest sports celebration in the city's history.
We're set to start half number 2 inside sold-out Van Andel Arena football on the X. The defending world champions, the Grand Rapids Rampage, leading Detroit 42-19. How many times do you see 3 defensive stops in a row? Not often, and it happened at the end of the half for the Rampage defense. Goins will kick it away. Winners will try and field it, and it goes into the stands. Somebody will get a souvenir football, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Fury offense, down 23, which is a ton to start the second half. Ricky Foggy, Robert Gordon, Mike Fletcher, Chuck Levy, Torrin James, R.K. Trulick, Troy Sinkowitz, and Kelvin Kinney make up the Fury offense. The Rampage defense has been outstanding. Joseph Todd, Verone McKinley, Willis Marshall, Michael Baker, Harold Shaw, Corey Mayfield, Joe Wiley, and Rod Manuel. And also we've seen Ricky Simpkins in with some pressure from the D-line. 1st and 10, Fury from their own 5, man in motion, top side, Foggy. Short, quick drop. Pass is complete to Winners, and he's knocked out up at the 11. Don't forget, Monday through Friday, 3 until 6 on the ball at 1340 a.m. You can hear my daily talk show, The Huge Show, here in Grand Rapids. Get a chance, tune in. And also remember, WBBL 1340 a.m. when Tommy isn't doing TV, the radio home with Joe Parson, who's to our right, with Brett Bakita doing the color. And Brett Muller, my producer, is on the sidelines.
Watch out. He may be too big for your show now, Bill.
Oh, he may be big time. He threw attitude at me today. He said, call my agent. 2nd and 6, Foggy, 5-step drop, under pressure again, looking, throws long, good coverage. Pass intended for Winters, and the coverage by Verone McKinley.
That looked like it may have been offensive interference there. Hopefully we get another look at it, but again, the Rampage front three getting after Ricky Foggy, making him move around in that pocket, feel uncomfortable. McKinley with great coverage. We'll see here if Winters doesn't grab him when that ball's in the air. That looks like he took McKinley down there.
Arena Football League action last night. New Jersey loses to Ray Bentley's Buffalo Destroyers 53-51. Chicago beat Indiana 47-42, and LA over New York 43-25. 3rd down and 6. Foggy with a deep drop over the middle. The pass is incomplete and then caught off the board by Gordon. They're going to say it's a catch at the Rampage 23, and Gordon and Coach Trigg are jawing at each other.
Well, Coach Trigg was right there where it happened. And he sees it, as you can see there, but the ball looked like it came off the board and then was caught by Gordon, which would make it a good catch.
That's legal in arena football.
Now the key is, were his feet out of bounds when he caught the ball? You can catch it off the boards in this game, but if your feet are out of bounds, then it's incomplete. Hard to tell on that angle.
Boy, he looks like he's leaning against it, but again with the angle, it was blocked by the thousands of fans who are inside the arena. Regardless, it's 1st and 10. Fury on the move at the GR23. Man in motion is Gordon. Foggy stumbles, then throws, and the pass is going to be incomplete. Close to a catch and a fumble. The pass intended for Mike Fletcher at the GR16.
I tell you what, this secondary has answered all the questions. That was the big concern going into this game. The guys in the secondary, Joseph Todd now has played very well, as has Waters and McKinley, and that time again, Waters in on the coverage, forces the incompletion.
JoJo Polk out with that leg injury, and Polk the leading tackler and the leading defender and maybe the quickest guy in the secondary. And Coach Trigg has to be pleased with the way the guys in the backfield are stepping up. 2nd and 10, Foggy now looks to set up the screen, and no one's there. There was an eligible lineman on the play, Arkel Trulick, and now Arkel jawing with Mayfield. Oh, this is going to, you know what? To heck with Mayweather inside Van Andel. Let's get Trulick and Mayfield for the main event.
I tell you what, this team in the white uniforms is feeling a whole lot of frustration right there, right now. Trulick was open on the screenplay. Foggy just simply missed him. And you're seeing a lot of the frustration come out for Detroit right now.
If they get a stop here, this will be the 4th straight stop on defense. How many times have you seen that in the AFL?
Well, I tell you, if you do see it, it equals one thing, blowout. So we're getting close to it right here.
Now the noise.
They got to call timeout because it's too loud in here.
One note, 28 points by the Rampage in the 2nd quarter of this game. That ties a team record. Also, Leon told me that the most points in a game is 80 last season against Indiana.
Things almost going to script as Coach Trigg would want tonight.
All right, we got a timeout on the field. 42-19, the Rampage on top of the Fury. This is the Rampage on the X. Bill Simonson and former Eastern Michigan quarterback and veteran arena football announcer Tom Sullivan live on the X in Grand Rapids, Michigan at gorgeous Van Andel Arena. The defending world champions of the AFL lead Detroit 42-19, 10:49 to go in the 3rd. Ricky Foggy, the Fury quarterback, looking at a 3rd and 10 from the Rampage 23. Quick drop, quick throw, right side with blockers. It's Winters with room to run and score.
And just like that, Detroit quiets this crowd. They had to call timeout on the previous play because it was too loud. Mouse Davis calls an easy throw for Ricky Foggy right out in the flat to Chuck Winters, who makes a couple guys miss and scores for Detroit. As you see here,
just missed tackles here. That's all this is.
Right there's one.
There's
another
2.
one. Chuck Winters will score a touchdown on a play like that all day long.
I don't want to say a touchdown is good, but considering you're up so big, it might be a little second half wake-up call for the Rampage to keep their game on. They're going to line up and go for two. Foggy, the quarterback out of Minnesota. They will take the snap from the 3. Foggy throwing right, has a man open with a great catch. Wow, that's winners again for the 2-point conversion. And there's pushing and shoving. Is that Trulick guy?
It sure is.
When are they going to throw that guy out of the game?
Look at it. He is a frustrated player, but Detroit gets 8 on that possession. Now cuts it to a two-possession game at 15 points.
Wake-up call for the Rampage here in the second half, maybe for the fans, and even some announcers saying 42-19 is almost insurmountable in arena football.
I'll tell you what, arena football, you've got to stay in your seat or stay in front of that television to the very end, because we've seen some crazy endings. You know, Bill, this game is designed to be close at the end. There's going to be a lot more possessions in this ball game, and if Grand Rapids doesn't continue to convert their possessions, Detroit will get right back in this ball game.
The only good thing, they made them work.
Yeah.
Almost 6 minutes off the clock, little over 5 and change to get that touchdown.
That's a long possession in arena football. Now, you see a lot of 2- and 3-play possessions for touchdowns. You're right, they made them work over 5 minutes for that one.
Next Saturday night, right here on the X, Indiana and the Rampage, 8 o'clock start on that one. Tickets are going fast, and maybe another sellout. Get your tickets for all the Rampage home games. Also, don't forget the Huge Horny Corner. You can call that number, 732-3379 for the Huge Horny Corner. You saw the rowdy people firing up this place. Again, 732-3379. Jenkins will boot it away for Detroit. A deep kick off the net, taken by Ross, midfield to the 5. With the move out to the 7, and Clint Dolezal and the Rampage offense will take the field for the first time here in the second half.
You mentioned Clint Dolezal, and look at his numbers in the first half, Bill. 17 of 21, 201 yards, and 5 touchdown passes in the first half for Clint Dolezal. I'd say he's in midseason form right now to start the season. Shaw had 4 receptions. Smith and Marshall had 3. Baker and Ross each had 3 as well. Clint Dolezal on fire in that first half.
Clint Dolezal, quarterback. We'll see Terrell Shaw, Steve Smith, Michael Baker, Willis Marshall, and Ricky Ross in the receiver mix. Ryan and also McDonald in the backfield. Now Dolezal with the quick hitter, left side across the 10 out to the 13-yard line, and the pass is going to be complete. And again, it's to Willis Marshall.
You know, one of the keys for Dolezal is knowing where to go with that football before the snap even gets to him. He can read the secondary and know where he's going with it before he gets it. That's a big key. You got to, in this game, have a quick release, and you see Clint there. He knows where he's going with it. Quick release outside, easy toss to Marshall.
Also, these 7-8-yard passes can burn some time. They took almost 6 minutes to score. Maybe you try and have a 5-minute drive here. High man in motion right side. Dolezal again, a quick hitter to Ross. Ross across a 15, and he's knocked out of bounds for a first down up at the 19.
You know, on the other side of the ball, looking at Foggy's first half stats, Ricky just 6 of 18 in that first half, 127 yards, 3 touchdowns, and of course the big interception at the end of the half that led to a Rampage score.
One note here at Van Andel, the folks just told me about the Griffins and the Wolves. Don't forget Game 5 tomorrow night. Griffins and the Wolves, the deciding game in that 5-game series. You can't beat a Game 5 with the Griffs and the Wolves tomorrow night here at Van Andel, and tickets do remain. First and 10 for Dolezal under center. Man in motion left side. His Shaw. Quick hitter left side goes to Marshall. Marshall with the move inside Detroit territory to the 24, and also a late flag from the back judge.
Hard to see what that penalty was, but I tell you, Willis Marshall is due to be a big player in this. A face mask call on Detroit. Willis Marshall is going to be a key player in this league for a long time. This is a guy who played at Birmingham Brother Rice in high school, went on to Youngstown State. He won state championship
5-yard penalty,
with Brother
number
Rice,
13
won national
on the
championships,
defense.
3 of them
First
with
down.
Youngstown State, and then played in the CFL, won himself a Grey Cup. Then he joins the Rampage last year, wins an Arena Bowl championship. This guy's a winner, and he's a great two-way player on offense and as a defensive back.
He may be a lucky charm for the Rampage. And that's one thing. When you look at Dolezal and Michael Baker and these class guys coming in on the field, off the field, in the community, what a job by Coach Trigg and everybody in the Rampage front office. First and 10 for Dolezal and GR from the Detroit 20. Slant pass to Ross. Spin move inside the 15 and carries tacklers down to the 14.
I tell you what, Ricky Ross Almost got his head taken off there by Chuck Levy, but you see how quick he is. He caught that ball, was up in the air, and when he landed, he was already darting out of the way of Chuck Levy. He's an athletic, probably the most athletic guy on the team, Ricky Ross.
Dolezal with 5 touchdown passes tonight, looking for touchdown pass number 6, and hopefully the Rampage will hold on, leading 42-27 with 7 minutes to go in the third. Dolezal now looks at a 3-man front, high man in motion. Left side is Shaw. Dolezal, 3-step drop. Looking, in trouble. Hit, loses the ball, fumbles it. It's picked up and going to be returned by Detroit to the 20 of Grand Rapids.
And our Cal Trulock finally got through and nailed Clint Dolezal, forced that ball loose. And Torrin James picked it up for Detroit. And now the Fury trying to take some momentum. Remember, they scored on their first possession, and then they turn the Rampage over on their second possession. Look at Trulock. That's what he does. He's a sack artist. Comes up, causes the fumble.
And it was picked up by Torrin James. So now there's a quiet little hush over the sold-out crowd, because you look up at the scoreboard, you see 42-27, and Detroit has a football back at the Rampage 20. Foggy will send a man in motion near side. That's Levy. Foggy, single coverage, has Levy open, and the pass is going to be incomplete. And again, great coverage in the end zone. And there's Joseph Todd. What a night he's having.
He may be the player of the game to this point, Bill, and credit him, because you remember early in the game they threw a short pass to Gordon. Todd missed the tackle, and Gordon went the distance for the touchdown. But since then, Joseph Todd has made several key plays in that secondary, and there's another one.
Under 6 minutes to go in the third here in Grand Rapids. Rampage football in the X. Bill Simonson with Tom Sullivan. Detroit with the football at the Grand Rapids 20, trailing by 15. High man in motion is Gordon, the speedster. Foggy looking left, looking for Gordon. Throws over the middle, has a man open, and again the pass is broken up by Joseph Todd.
Boy, look at him. They call him the one-man wrecking crew after that play, and he is doing it. His confidence is soaring right now. But Ricky Foggy had a man open, threw it a bit behind him, and Joseph Todd made him pay for it. Look at Foggy here. This ball is thrown late. Look at his feet when he throws it. Not set, throws it late, and Todd makes him pay.
Mike Fletcher was wide open. It looked like he was going to have a big gainer, and there's Joseph Todd with his 4th coverage breakup, you can call it, tonight. 3rd and 10 for the Fury at the Rampage 20. Foggy, short drop, pump fake, looking, has a man open, back of the end zone, chucks it into the crowd, incomplete.
That one soared right into the bud zone. That's a little perk for sitting down there. That guy will go home. Look at him. He'll go home with a ball tonight. Great catch in the bud zone.
Big play here. Foggy talks to Mouse Davis, the guru behind the run and shoot, which was a nice fad in the National Football League, now bringing it indoors to the AFL. They're going to go for it again. 4th and 10. Detroit with the arena football at the Rampage 20. Levy in motion near side. Foggy back to throw, has him open, and it's going to be caught. Is that 6? Yes, it is. Levy with the reception for the Fury.
Credit Ricky Foggy for making a play on 4th down. Big play, a lot of noise in here, and he finds Levy in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. And Detroit's right back in this ball game, Bill. You cannot give up in an Arena Football League game. You always have the chance to come back. Good throw there, pretty good coverage, but Foggy put it on the money.
14 unanswered points to start the second half by Detroit. Now they'll line up and go for 2. This is a huge 2-point conversion, because if they get it, it's only a 1-possession game. Foggy now looks at the play clock. From the 3-yard line, they'll go for 2. Levy in motion right side. Foggy rolls right side. Looking, has Levy open, and he chucks it away. Great coverage, and again, Joseph Todd in the secondary.
Great coverage, and you're right, a huge play, because that leaves it at 9 points, but Grand Rapids better get their offense cranked up here on this possession.
3:23 to go in the third. We got a ball game. Grand Rapids 42, Detroit 33. This is Arena Football on the X. Rampage led at halftime, 42-33. Their only possession of the second half resulted in a blindside fumble by Dolezal. Detroit has fought back in a furious way to only trail by 9 right now, and maybe somewhat of a question going for 2 on that last play, but J.R. Jenkins will boot it away off the net. The ball is taken by Marshall with the hole right side across the 15 and across the 20 and brought down at the 21.
I suspect now you're going to see Clint Dalzell be a lot more animated out there and have his leadership ability take over. You know, he's got all the tools. This guy is going to go into the Arena Football League Hall of Fame at some time. Has had numerous attempts in the NFL, was with the Chicago Bears for a while, led this team to an Arena Bowl championship. He's got the talent, but he's also got the leadership ability, and he's going to need that right now to get this team back into this game.
Tom, must score situation here. I think they need to put it in the end zone. Detroit's back in this thing, under 3 to go in the third. Clint Dalzell under center. He'll snap the Arena football from his own 21. Quick pass to Baker, and Baker can't hold on to it at the Detroit 24.
Well, you don't see that very often. And
they seem a little flat here. Maybe the big lead at halftime, and even us up here in the booth, we're thinking the game's over. Everybody except you, Tom.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen enough of these games, Bill. Let me tell you something. These games go right down to the end, pretty much no matter what. And that's why, you know, when you have a guy like Brian Goins on your team, it's so key, because most of these games come down to a kick at the end.
Dalzell now will look at a 3-man front for the Fury in the white jerseys, the Rampage in the red jerseys with the black helmets. 2nd and 10 from the 21. Dalzell crossing pattern. Pass is going to be caught inside Detroit territory to the 23-yard line. And now, is that Trulick again? Well, that guy's in fighting every single time. Marshall, by the way, with another great catch. Shaw's almost a decoy tonight.
He hasn't really been heard from a whole lot. Just had 4 catches at halftime, 1 touchdown. But you better believe when they need a play, they'll go to Terrell Shaw. And don't forget, you know, Terrell Shaw, Coach Strick said, still working into Arena Football League shape. It's a different type of game than outdoors. You know, you pass on almost every single play. So Shaw's still getting his legs underneath him.
This is a big 3rd down play coming up for the Rampage. Man of motion is Shaw. Pump fake. He's looking long for Shaw. Has him open. Pass is going to be caught. There's Shaw with the Rampage first down at the Detroit 12.
Good play by Shaw, who was covered initially and broke away from Kevin Scott. And those two still having words down there.
Detroit does a lot of trash talking.
Now they're trying to disrupt Grand Rapids, no question about it. Disrupt them verbally and trying to knock Dalzell down when they can. You see Clint here go back to Shaw, who broke away from Scott for the first down.
1st and 10. Grand Rapids on the move at the Detroit 12. They lead this ball game 42-33. Dalzell pump fake. Looking from the backside. He's hit. He fumbles. The ball's loose. I think Detroit has it. Yes, they do at their own 13. Do you believe it?
And the Detroit pass rush finally getting to Clint Dalzell. That's what the Rampage feared, was the pass rush of Detroit. In the first half, they didn't knock Clint Dalzell down once. On the first 2 possessions in the second half, he fumbles, and Detroit now can score and really cut this game down to a 1-point game if they can score a touchdown and get 2-point possession on this play. Look at that. Is that Kinney coming around the end? That's the guy that they feared a little bit, him and Trulock.
Well, the defense has been doing the job all night. At one point, they had 3 straight stops. They're going to need another one here. 1st and 10, Detroit with the football, trailing by 9. 15 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Foggy with a deep drop. Right side throw is incomplete. And then Joseph Todd just laid out that big guy, Willie Lotta, for Detroit.
Again, they confused Foggy on his initial read on the snap.
Well, 3rd quarter is in the books. The Rampage went from scoring 28 in the 2nd quarter, nothing in the 3rd. Hang on, folks. We got a great finish coming up. 42-33, Grand Rapids on top of Detroit. This is the Arena Football League on the X. .32-33, Grand Rapids on top of Detroit as we head to the 4th quarter. One note, Pistons fans, X marks the spot to find out if Coach Carlisle Stack and Big Ben Wallace can continue this incredible season through the playoffs. Catch Game 2 of the first-round series with Toronto on Wednesday, April 24th, starting at 7. It's Pistons basketball right here on XSP, the station with Game. Back to this arena football game on 2nd and 10. Foggy throws a low pass that is incomplete, intended for Gordon out of the 25.
Again, just a simple miss on the easy throw and catch by Ricky Foggy. A bad throw, no one around him, just threw it in the ground, and now he'll have to make a play on a big 3rd down. You know this place is going to start getting noisy here in the 4th quarter. Big 3rd down play. This place is going to get loud now, Bill.
The huge horny corner wave just put a foggy blanket over Ricky Foggy.
At least that wasn't a cliche. You came up with that one. That's pretty good.
I'm trying to drop every cliche I can as I get to know the players. 3rd and 10 for Detroit. Big play for the Rampage D. Foggy, trouble with the snap. Throws left side. Pass is going to be caught by Gordon. Breaks a tackle at the 20 with the move inside the 20, and he's dropped at the Rampage 15.
Well,
wow.
We're seeing Robert Gordon right now. Has not done a whole lot tonight. Had one catch at halftime for a touchdown. But this guy led the league last year in points. And was an all-arena performer. In the 4th quarter, you're going to see him come out. You're going to see that Foggy going to Robert Gordon.
13:48 and counting to go in this ball game. 42-33. Grand Rapids on top of Detroit, but the Fury with the ball 1st and 10 after this Gordon completion here, and you just see his great moves. Why the guy had 45 touchdowns last year, just unbelievable. 1st and 10, Foggy looking at a 3-man front. Fury with the football from the Rampage 16. Foggy has a man open left side. He stumbled. Gordon was the intended receiver. The pass falls incomplete.
Well, you made a good point earlier, Bill. They're making them work. Use a lot of time on that clock. And, you know, you make Ricky Foggy complete 3, 4, 5 passes in a series. You know, give him credit if he can do that. That's what the Rampage want to do. They want to make him make plays consistently throughout the game.
In the franchise's history, the Rampage are 22-8 when leading after 3 quarters, and they lead right now 42-33. Remember, the clock in arena football continues to run even on incomplete passes, so don't yell at your TV and say, why did they stop the clock? 2nd and 10, Detroit with the arena football at the Rampage 16. Man in motion left side. Foggy throws left side. Pass is going to be caught and complete. Inside the 5 to the 4 is Willie Lotta, and now pushing and shoving and everything going on.
Guess who?
Trueluck?
Yep.
They have got to get this guy out of the game. He's a menace to the football society.
And, you know, credit Corey Mayfield for keeping his cool, because Trueluck drove him down the field after the play. You won't see it on the replay, but after the play, down the field, a good 15 yards, and Mayfield did not retaliate.
I like how those Dutler people do the relay and also the replay, whatever you call it. Relay, replay, whatever it takes there, Tom. 1st and goal. The Fury down by 9 with the football at the Rampage 4. Foggy rolling right side, looking to throw, and he's sacked back at the 12, and a late flag comes in.
I have no idea what that call.
Did they call a face mask?
I know Ryan actually missed him. I mean, he took a swing at him, but Foggy ducked underneath it. Unless it was a hold in front of that.
They called holding on the Fury.
Chris Ryan coming out of nowhere almost took the helmet off of Ricky Foggy. Rampage defense are going to need plays like that to hold this team back. Fury with all the momentum right now.
They're going to take the penalty. Again, the officiating crew, a heck of a job. Bill McKay, Paul Freaking, Neil Bruner, Paul Engelberts, and Bud McCleskey. Arena football is a tough game to officiate. So fast, so much going on, and also the rules are so different.
You know, most of these
kind
guys
of difference
are
you can make in tonight's ball game
major
by just
college
making
officials
some noise.
in the offseason.
Number 1 on the offense.
They've got
the penalty is declined. 2nd down.
So Coach Trigg goes against the player's wishes, declines a penalty. Now with the sack. Won't be the extra down. 2nd and goal, now back at the 11. Arena football action tonight. The Dallas Desperados, owned by the Jones family, in their inaugural game, leading the Carolina Cobras 57-36 in the 4th. Second and goal. Back at the 11 for Detroit. Trailing the Rampage by 9. Foggy, long, hard count. Looking left, throwing left, and the pass is going to be caught. And then Lotta's knocked out of bounds near the 5.
Smart play by Foggy, throwing underneath. The Rampage played zone that time. Dropped off, took the deep routes away, and Foggy went underneath the Lotta. You see here, watch Foggy look downfield, wants to throw it down there, and then just lays it off underneath the Lotta, and they take about an 8-yard gain inside the 5-yard line.
There's that Duttler replay. I like that. Big play here, but I doubt they're in 4-down territory because they would take the field goal, I would think. But you never know with Mouse Davis in Detroit. 3rd and goal. Foggy under center. He'll snap it from the 5. Right side throw is caught by Lotta, and that's a touchdown, Detroit.
And the Fury snowball keeps on a rolling here in the 4th quarter.
20 unanswered points pending the single PAT. The Rampage have not scored in the second half.
Well,
wow.
Detroit's done a nice job of controlling the ball. And Foggy that time on the money to Lotta. And now we're seeing, Bill, why that last extra point is so crucial. Now they're going to go for 2 again, try to cut this thing to 1.
I think some of the fans are stunned here right now.
They are.
But 2 fumbles, and really not Dozell's fault, blindsided both times, have led to this comeback. They're going for 2 from the 3. Foggy, straight back. Right side toss, broken up. Wow, there's Joseph Todd again.
Once again, he's down there. Great play by Joseph Todd. Boy, has he played a game tonight.
9:33 to go in this ball game. Grand Rapids holding on to a 3-point lead, 42-39. Don't go away, folks. This is Rampage football on the X. .933 to go in this ball game, at least in regulation. Grand Rapids led Detroit 42-19 at halftime. Detroit has outscored them 20-0 here in the second half. J.R. Jenkins will kick it away after their latest score in their missed 2-point conversion. A short kick that Ross will take about 7 yards deep in the end zone. Across the 5 with the move to the 7, and he's dropped right there.
Well, I tell you, the Rampage, we've said it since this half started, obviously need to get this thing cranked up right now. A 3-point ball game. It's going to go right down to the end like it does in so many Arena Football League games. But, you know, when you ask Coach Trigg about games like this, he says, you know what, I like 2 things. We got number 13 on our side, Dalzell, and we've got number 11, Goins, on our side to make plays at the end of the game.
We talked about this during our first intermission at halftime. How tough would it be to keep these guys focused? Let's see what happens here. Grand Rapids up 3 with the ball from their own 7. Quick pass to Shaw with a good move, and Shaw across the 10 out to the 13 for a pickup of 6 on first down.
And that was a good play to call after the problems that Dalzell's had in that 3rd quarter. Remember, he's been sacked twice and fumbled on plays where he's in the pocket. That time, just a 3-step drop, quick release out to Shaw for about 7 yards.
Mouse Davis may second-guess himself when this game's over about 2 straight 2-point conversions that failed because they're down 3 right now. A score would make it a 2-possession game with 8:30 and counting to go in the 4th. Dozell now will send the circle man in motion. That's Shaw right side. Dozell, deep drop, long throw. Shaw with a great catch at the Fury 15.
And right there you see the NFL ability of Terrell Shaw as he went up and got that pass from Clint Dalzell. Boy, is he athletic or what, Bill? I mean, that guy went up, and that was a tough catch. He had to get his head around and then go up and find it and catch it, and he did for a first down.
I was just ready to say Coach Trigg has to go to his money man, and his money man is the best receiver in Arena Football, number 15, Terrell Shaw. Also, Trulook is walking a little gingerly right now.
Yeah, he's got to go off. He's walking off the field right now under his own power, but very slowly.
His limp is a limp only a man could relate to. Gingerly is a key word. 1st and 10, Dozell He looks confident here from the Detroit 15. Sean motion left side. Dozell now the screen.
Open.
Man wide open. That's going to be a touchdown for Manuel.
Great call by Sparky McEwen on the sideline. 3 receivers to the left side, and they run the screen back to the tight end eligible to the right side, and that was Rod Manuel. No one in front of him. Great call. Gets the Rampage on the board here in the second half.
Big touchdown. And now because they went for 2 straight 2-point conversions, unbelievable.
Yeah.
We got a timeout now. Coach Trigg is thinking about the 2. You're up 9. Why not push it to 11 and force them to go for it?
Well, the Fury are furious about something, but we see it here. Dalzell right over to Manuel, and look at the blockers in front of him. Yarnell gets a nice block on Lotta, and Manuel high steps it into the end zone. Manuel 6'6", 295 from Oklahoma. His first touchdown in the Arena Football League.
Rod Manuel, part of that Oklahoma connection. Corey Mayfield, Rod Manuel. Well, yeah, he raised his hand, which means
yes,
you're a legal receiver.
That's right.
For people, you're called a tight end, but to be eligible in the Arena Football League, you got to raise your hand. It's kind of like in class. If you don't raise your hand, you can't talk. In kindergarten, in the Arena Football League, if you don't raise your hand, you can't score touchdowns like Rod Manuel just did. Goins with his big foot on to try the single PAT. They change their mind, and Goins is always money. 6:43 to go in this ball game. Rampage on top by 10, 49-39.
Want to remind fans that you can get tickets to Rampage games as a group. Come on out with all your friends and watch the world champions defend their title in the high-energy atmosphere here at Van Andel Arena. Call 888-595-4878 for group tickets, full season tickets, or mini season ticket plans. They're still available. Join Blitz and the Rage in support of the world champion Grand Rapids Rampage.
Also support the Rampage players, fans. The biggest post-game party is downtown across from Van Andel tonight. If you're watching on TV, get down to Margarita Grill when this game is over for our WBBL post-game show and also post-game party over at Margarita Grill. And also remember to tune into my daily talk show here in Grand Rapids, On the Ball, 1340 a.m., The Huge Show, Monday through Friday. And all my listeners, the Huge Horny Corner, inspiring this team tonight when they needed it.
Well, Bill, for your first night at an Arena Football League game, what's your thoughts so far?
I'm drained. You know what, maybe, I'll tell you, that first half, between all the emotion of raising the flag, 28 points in the second quarter, just the thunderous roar, I think I was zapped. I think the players were zapped, and hopefully now they got everything centered.
Good point.
Fans, everybody, I mean, there's a lot of emotion tonight. Last 2 times, if you're a fan, you've been in this building, it's a world championship, and now this. Goins' kick rolls around at the goal line. It is picked up by Gordon with a move across at 10, stays on his feet to the 15, and he stumbles out to the 20.
Well, I tell you, Gordon is a tough guy to tackle. You know, he's 5'10", 190 pounds, but he's low to the ground and hard to knock off balance. He's broken, I don't know, 6 or 8 tackles tonight on several different plays.
I really think the energy thing. Halftime didn't come at a good time for the Rampage in this game. They were rolling, everybody was rolling, but there's only a limit. And that's one thing about Arena Football with all the scoring. I mean, fans, announcers, players, how long can you keep the juices flowing? I'm a spaz. I can do it. I talk 24 hours a day. 1st and 10 for Detroit with the football. Down 10. Foggy under pressure. Throws over the middle. Wobbly pass that is caught by Lotta at the GR-17.
Well, that ball was tipped, or Foggy's arm was hit as he threw it, and it ended up going behind Lotta, who had to throttle down and catch it. Great effort by Lotta. Ramp and the Fury just keep moving this ball down the field offensively.
5:40 and counting to go in this game. 49-39. The Rampage holding on to that 10-point lead. Foggy moving the Fury inside the Rampage 16. Man in motion is Levy. He was open, but Foggy decided to go underneath Talata, and the pass is incomplete.
Boy, I tell you, a guy like Foggy must drive Mouse Davis crazy. You know, Mouse Davis, known as a kind of a quarterback guru, of course, the father of the run and shoot. He sees Foggy make a great play on the play before, and then he's got a wide open man, and he throws it at his feet.
Levy was open for 6.
Yeah.
I mean, that was simple. Levy had run the flag pattern, and you see Mouse Davis.
He's saying, put your glasses on there. He's
Look.
wide open. Mouse, one of the really class people in this league and all football. You know, that guy, Mouse Davis, he's coached in 5 different professional leagues and the NCAA. You don't think that guy knows a little bit something about football?
You know, one thing about all these guys in the Arena Football League and the Rampage, there's still that love of the game. And now with the league emerging and the NBC deal next year, you will see this league go to the next level and have a world champion in a market like Grand Rapids. A lot of people compare what Grand Rapids could be to what Green Bay is in the National Football League.
That's exactly right. And a lot of fun to root for a team like that, isn't it?
Sure is. A lot of time left in this one for a lot of fun. Under 5 to go in the 4th. Rampage by 10. Detroit with the ball. 2nd and 10 from the 17. Foggy, end zone. What a catch by Gordon. That's 6.
Well, the go-to guy for the Rampage is Terrell Shaw. And on the other side, it's Robert Gordon. And we see right there, he was blanketed. That ball should not have been thrown there, but he forced it into Gordon, who made the catch with McKinley draped all over him. And the fury just will not go away.
You see Foggy here. He's looking left. Then he looks right. Throws in the coverage. And Gordon, that was just a good throw and a good catch by Gordon. We mentioned over 1,600 yards receiving last year and 42 TDs. Now J.R. Jenkins will try the single PAT
this is big.
to make this a 3-point game.
He's missed a couple already tonight.
Good snap. The ball is down. Miller with the hold, and he doinks it. Doink!
I tell you what, Jenkins' inconsistency all night you know, the extra points are the difference in this game tonight.
Is it J.R. Jenkins or J.R. Shankins? 49-45, 3:56 to go in the 4th. What a game. 42-19. Grand Rapids led Detroit at halftime. They have been outscored 26-7 here in the second half.
But they're holding on here, and with 4 minutes to go, the Rampage lead it, and we're in for a great finish here. I want to talk about some upcoming home games for the Rampage, and of course next weekend, April 27th, the Indiana Firebirds. Again, a Central Division battle for the Rampage, a big game. Indiana, of course, a playoff team last year. And then May 11th, the Orlando Predators come into town. May 25th, the Buffalo Destroyers, coached by Grand Rapids native Ray Bentley, will be in here on May 25th. Both games start at 7:30. Plenty of tickets available. Call Tickets Plus at 222-4000 or stop into the arena and buy some tickets. But I'll tell you what, Bill, the way tickets are going right now, you got to act soon to get those tickets, even for those games in May.
Also, remember the huge Horny Corner where you can buy our special season ticket package, get a T-shirt, megaphone, refillable popcorn. Call 732-337 right now, or 732-3379, that is. 732-3379 to be a part of the huge Horny Corner here at Van Andel for home Rampage football games. 3:56 to go in the 4th. 49-45. Grand Rapids leading by 4. Detroit will kick the ball away. Jenkins with an end-over-end kick that sails between the uprights, rolls around in the end zone, and Ross will be dropped in the end zone. Check that Marshall in the end zone. That's a touchback in arena football. Again, you got to get out only if it's rolling around live. So, folks, unlike the NFL or college football or high school football, it is a touchback, so it is not a safety.
Again, the pressure on the offense, as it is throughout the game, to capitalize on possessions. Rampage need to score again here, up 4 points, 3:40 and running right now in the 4th quarter.
J.R. Jenkins, a Detroit kicker, was 49 for 53 in PA attempts last year. 3 doinks tonight.
Yep.
Wow. 1st and 10, Rampage. Dozell under center from his own 5. Pump fake, looking long, throwing long, has a man out there, look like interference, and there's a flag.
Without question. And Detroit's arguing the call, but that was obvious.
Winters had to grab him because Shaw was blowing by him.
He ran a stutter route there, stutter step and go, and Winters was beat. Had to knock Shaw into the boards. That's a penalty.
Big penalty there. Good field position
Pass interference,
also.
number 35 on the defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Also, again, the clock. You know, a touchdown here would be huge for the Rampage. 3:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Grand Rapids clinging to a 49-45 lead over Detroit. This is Arena Football on the X. We got a great crew down in the production room in our truck. My chopper will take me back to my Grand Plaza suite after the game. First and 10, quick pitch, right side. Goes to Harold Shaw, and Shaw across the 15, maybe for one, out to the 16, and now Coach Trigg trying to play the clock game.
Well, he's also giving the ball to a guy that has extensive NFL experience. Harold Shaw has played in better than 20 games with the New England Patriots, and he is the brother of Terrell Shaw. You know, Coach Trigg had a great quote last year. They had Terrell Shaw on the roster, and Harold Shaw became available. He says, you know, sometimes the best way to recruit is just to ask everybody on their team if their brother's any good. That's how they got Harold Shaw.
Coach Trigg, one of the great men in football and a man who is a great ambassador for the city of Grand Rapids. 2nd and 9, circle motion, near side is Shaw. Dozell looking deep for Shaw. He's open, and he overshoots him. Wow.
I'll tell you what, next week, that ball's completed. Those guys are still getting used to each other. Terrell Shaw and Dalzell, believe it or not, Shaw signed with the team again last week. Has not had a whole lot of time this year working with Clint Dalzell and is still getting into arena ball shape. That ball's caught next week, Bill.
Huge play here, 150 and counting. Remember, the clock stops at 1 minute in arena football.
Big play right now.
3rd and 9. Grand Rapids with a 4-point lead and the football at their own 16. Shaw in motion near side. Dalzell with a deep drop. Throws over the middle. Pass going to be caught by Shaw with the move inside the 20, close to a face mask, and he's dropped for a first down at the Fury 18.
Big play there, and who do you go to? You go to the money guy, Terrell Shaw. He can run past you, and he can also drive you deep. He gets on the defender, pulls up. Dalzell's there with the ball.
Coach Trigg told me, watch this guy. You can't cover him in the AFL. They were afraid to give up the deep ball because Dozell overshot him on the last play. They play it safe, and Dozell and Shaw read each other, and they get a big first down. That's the biggest play of the game for Grand Rapids.
Now we go into the 1-minute timing rules here in the fourth quarter.
So now the ball will stop on everything. Incompletes, out of bounds. We'll get everything.
This will be a long minute here. The end of this ball game. Could be several possessions in this last minute.
49-45, Grand Rapids leading Detroit. 1 minute to go in this ball game. 1st and 10. Handoff right side to Shaw. Breaks a couple of tackles, and what a run by Harold inside the Detroit 15 to the 40 or to the Fury 14.
I tell you, Shaw and Shaw in this fourth quarter. What do you think the pickup games were like in their backyard?
Wow. Try and say Fury and 14 quick, too. Timeout on the field. 54 seconds to go in this one. 49-45. Grand Rapids on top of Detroit. This is Arena Football on the X. Back to action here in Van Andel. We're under 1 minute to play. 49-45. Grand Rapids leading Detroit. On the second down handoff, GR comes up with a couple of yards, so we got a 3rd and 4, and Detroit just burned a timeout here. Grand Rapids leading by 4. Coming up on the X, following our Rampage coverage. First, it's Just Shoot Me, followed by VIP. Then Nash Bridges wraps up the night. That's all tonight, following this exciting arena game on WXSP.
Also, want to remind fans, tomorrow here at Van Andel Arena, it's a do-or-die game, Game 5. The Griffins and the Chicago Wolves will battle it out here 6 o'clock tomorrow night here in Van Andel Arena. Nothing better, really, Bill, than do-or-die
elimination games. Game 5s, Game 7s, any sport.
Yep.
I even get excited about a Game 5 in chess.
Have you been in any of those? I mean,
oh yeah, chess is big. I got the Chess Network, and I get Chess Direct TV at home. It's great. Go, Bobby Fischer, go. Count it, baby. Rook, king, queen. Also, after the game tonight, the post-game party at Margarita Grill across from Van Andel downtown in GR. 3rd and 4, Dozell back to throw, throws. Pass is going to be caught for a first down inside the 10 to the Detroit 7 by Shaw.
You think he got it, Bill?
He got it, yeah. They're going to move it, and that could do it.
They are. They're going to move the chains right at the
Could that be enough, Tommy? Could that be enough?
That's enough.
No timeouts remain, and they should be able to run this out and get a W.
That was a huge play there for the first down right at the marker. Rampage are in control now, should be able to run this thing out. Now, in arena football, you have to gain forward momentum on a run play. You can't take a knee, so they're going to have to gain yards to keep the clock running.
Let's hand it off.
And he gets yards.
Left side.
Ryan.
It's the big man from Atlanta, Chris. I'm not lying. I'm trying to score Ryan. He'll gain a couple of yards. The clock is going to wind down. And on the night, they raise the World Championship banner. Grand Rapids shows the football world in Grand Rapids they want another world trophy.
Well, with just 7 points in the second half, that's pretty amazing.
Who would ever think you'd be talking about the Rampage defense tonight when you have guys like Dozell and Shaw and Ross and Marshall?
Well, they stepped it up and got it done. And who'd have thought you could have told Coach Trick, Coach, you score 7 points in the second half, you're going to win the game. He would have said, heck no. But that's what happened, and they won it.
42-19. At halftime, Grand Rapids was in control, and they hold on, and they get a huge W, 49-45, because Dozell won't let them quit. Postgame show is up next here on the X. Bill Simonson and Tom Sullivan back in Van Andel. The fans begin to file out. I'm sure going over to the postgame party at Margarita Grill. They will celebrate, even though it was scary in the second half. Only 7 points, Tom. 42-19 halftime lead. We're all feeling good. And then in crunch time, Dozell comes up big. Grand Rapids gets a 49-45 win.
Well, I think we saw a couple of things. The first half, we certainly saw explosive offense from the Rampage. They put up 42. The second half, we saw them hang on and show some of that character that got them to the championship last year. You know, they didn't play great in the second half. They played well when they had to. The leadership came through, and defensively, they really got it done in the second half.
Next week, 8 o'clock, Indiana and the Rampage here on the X. Tom and myself will have the call. Final score here is 49-45. Tonight's broadcast of Grand Rapids Rampage Arena Football on WXSP was presented by the Duttler Automotive Group. Also, Huntington Bank and by Ford. Thanks for watching, everybody. So long. The Rampage with a huge win tonight. We'll see you next week on the X. Hey, Doug.
You've been watching Rampage Smash Mouth Arena Football on the X. WXSP.
Tonight's game has been brought to you by the Duttler Automotive Group.